Welcome to your final pre-E3 Giant Bombcast. It's Tuesday, June the 4th, 2019. I'm Brad Shoemaker. Hello, Jeff Gersman.
Hello.
Jason A. Stryker.
Hello, hello.
Ben Pack, our
Hello.
panel of E3 experts. E3 experts.
E-freaks.
E-freaks?
E-freaks.
E3.
E-freaks.
Do you think E-freaks?
Yeah.
I don't know what that... Let's
Big
know
E?
what? Big E?
E40? Which E are we talking
I don't know.
about?
I'm not sure.
Big E definitely freaks.
Yeah.
Okay.
E40, not so much anymore. He's getting older.
Free.
I mean, he has freaked. Oh, for sure, he's freaked.
And E? Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. It's
It's happening. It's here. It's
the season is upon
this
us.
is it. There's like
Season's greetings.
a ton of news, a ton of announcements. We're like so close to like appointment
The
schedules
leaks are
and all this other
flying.
shit.
Leaks are flying.
Yeah.
Leaks are leaking.
Getting wet
Appointment
for E3.
confirmations by the moment
Right.
in my inbox.
Like, did I see all the Destiny stuff leaked this morning?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's on the list
Okay.
of stuff.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts before we're going to start with news this week because there's a lot, but any final thoughts before we get in there? Anything you want to say?
I think it
Would you like
sucked
to-
when they closed the Panera because
That's not
I
the
couldn't
news
get
thing.
soup in a bread bowl.
Matt, if you want
anymore.
to deliver your
That was-
last will and testament, now's the time.
I
didn't hit
never,
the news.
I never went to a Panera.
it was fine. Yeah, I went
You
there.
get like a half sandwich and a soup, or you get a full sandwich? What are we working with here?
I'll get like a full sandwich and a
Okay.
soup because I'm trash.
Sure,
I probably should get a half sandwich and a soup, but I'm getting soup in a bread bowl also. Which
Oh,
is like,
okay. Yeah.
So at that
that's
point,
basically a sandwich.
that's basically a sandwich.
Soup in a bread bowl is a sandwich. There's even a lid that you.
There's a lid.
So
Do you want
it's
to
like a sandwich.
run down the most important news of E3, which is our catering manifest?
Yeah, let's hear it.
I've got it in front of me, or I'm about to.
It's the same as last year's.
Let's see.
My understanding is that it's basically the same as last
You
year's.
wanna
How much beer is there for the night's shows?
that is listed as on consumption.
Oh, right.
So
Okay.
apparently
we just get more.
We're charged by the numbers of beer drank.
Yeah. Well, it's when you get rooms like this, we're renting out a room in a hotel, and you have to hit a food and beverage minimum with the hotel.
Yeah.
And so you have to order it from them, and all their stuff. Whatever, it's fine. It sucks. It's like room service
Hey,
food.
that hummus is all right.
Yeah.
That's what leads to $100 pots of coffee.
Totally. Yeah. Like
Oh
it's
my God.
terrible. Like yes. Because
What a
you're getting
racket.
catering. Yeah. It is the definition of a fucking racket.
You can't stuff a pot of coffee into a suitcase.
Sign up for Giant Bomb Premium today. Help us fucking pay for this fucking coffee.
Let's see. Okay. Sunday the 9th at 12 p.m. we have the half-hour lunch,
Okay.
Nice. That's right when I'm getting in.
which is described as Turkey Club, crispy chicken.
Woo!
Quantity 10.
Yeah. Is that a turkey chub with?
Yes, it's a turkey chub.
Ooh, man. Love a good turkey chub.
Mm-hmm.
6 p.m. we have the stationary pasta buffet.
Wait.
That sounds all right. Okay.
Why does it need
Stand
to
still. Do
Yeah.
not fucking move.
You walk up.
Don't move the pasta, and also you do not move.
You just have to wait for somebody to kind of lift the pasta to your face.
Yeah.
and then
I've never heard of this kind of pasta. Baked orecchietti
spider pasta.
Oh no.
with meatballs and spaghetti with basil,
Okay.
pesto and sun-dried. I remember that. That spaghetti's pretty bland.
Everything's bland. It's
They need to-
hotel
yeah,
pasta.
They need
totally.
to. They really need to work on their pesto.
I'm a pesto
Denier.
disgust. Yes, a pesto denier. I'm pretty sure it doesn't exist. But there's something in there that
Look,
tastes
red
like garbage.
sauce, I understand. It's a
Yeah.
tomato. You crush it up. You throw in some oregano.
Right.
Oh man,
Green?
Green? Where's that even come from?
all these memories flooding back.
Food isn't green unless it's gone bad.
Right.
The
Or
standard,
it's lettuce, which is bullshit.
standard continental breakfast, the Office Hero lunchbox, the slider station.
Yeah.
All right.
It's going to be like last year where we get every other meal from the place right across the way. And it's
Yeah.
just like, here's 3 pizzas and
Yes.
3 salads.
Yeah,
Go to town.
It's going to be exactly that. It's
Hell
going to be
yeah.
like, hey, they're bringing food technically, but by the time you get back to that room, it'll somehow be gone.
Oh, there's not even real dinner Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's just
Yeah, there never was.
cheese board,
We got to fend for ourselves.
Yeah, because we got people coming in and
Yeah.
stuff. So it's like,
Popcorn, pretzel,
guacamole,
Cracker Jacks.
snacks. Hit up
snacks.
that Chipotle.
No.
Oh,
What else you can? It's closed.
There's a Qdoba.
yeah.
Is there?
Yeah.
It's like 2 more blocks away.
Wait, more blocks?
Yeah.
I'm not going to walk farther to get a mediocre burrito.
Fair enough. Yeah. There's an IHOP.
No, there's not. It's dead to me.
Ooh.
I went there when Dan and I went down to LA for the anime convention. We totally went to that IHOP.
Did you get a burger?
No.
Okay.
I did not get
Good
a burger.
call.
Yeah.
Are they even still doing that?
I think they're back to the P,
Yeah.
Ugh.
which means yeah.
I got pee.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
was it?
It was fine. I also got mozzarella sticks, if I remember correctly. Extremely on brand road meal.
Mozzarella sticks are maybe the best road food. You know, because you're like, oh well, I'm already out here eating.
I'm already living my trashiest life
Yeah.
because I'm not home where I can take care of myself.
Where nobody
so-
knows me.
Right. So just keep it coming.
I'm not going to get side-eyed by my friendly neighborhood waiter for
Yeah.
ordering mozzarella sticks. Like, really, Ben? Again? It's like, you don't
It's
know
11
me.
a.m. and you're getting pancakes also. What the fuck is... No, that's
No, it's... You know I'm here on business.
Yeah.
LA, downtown LA,
mozzarella
IHOP
stick
worker.
business.
All right. I have a stack of news stories here.
Fucking A.
Some real, some suggested,
See if you can pick out the fake ones.
some rumored.
Sony's going to be at the show.
Yeah, they're getting started early.
Yeah.
Yeah, they dropped what normally would have been a big stage announcement randomly on a what?
No, they're
Thursday?
going to be... I heard they're going to be there. They got a
PlayStation All-Stars
Yep,
2.
they got a sequel to Connecticut. There's a whole thing. They're announcing all this
6.
stuff. Yeah.
What day was this last week? I don't know. It's like a Wednesday or something.
The Death Stranding.
They dropped an
Yeah.
8-minute
It's Thursday, I think.
Death Stranding trailer and announced it's coming out on November 8th
Yep.
of this year.
Woo.
So
It was a fun trailer.
It
You know?
was.
It's like, hey, here's another one of these.
Hey,
Yeah.
remember Kojima trailers?
Yeah, he can still make them. It doesn't have to be military in nature. He can make them for whatever.
oh, there's a fair amount of military in there.
I mean, it's guns.
You're the
and-
president of jack shit.
Yeah,
Remember, there's the skeleton face special ops dudes,
those are still skeletons in my
Yeah.
book.
military skeletons.
All right,
Um,
like Sergeant Skeleton.
Sergeant.
Kojima, they put up
He
a.
took off the mask and there was another mask under it.
That's true.
Was that Die Hard, man?
No.
No.
Dar Harmon does not take off the mask.
Do you think that's
Okay.
just German for the hard man?
The hard man.
No,
Yeah.
it can't be.
D Hardman.
I mean, Hot Cold Man wasn't anything other than Hot Cold Man.
You've got me there. Does he just walk around and quote Die Hard the entire game?
Is he a BT?
He just walks around saying, ho, ho, ho.
Yeah.
Not even the I have a machine
yeah,
gun
no,
part.
just the whole part. That's it. And you have to infer from there that he's talking about that thing from Die Hard.
Yeah.
Also, he's got like tape marks on his back.
Death Stranding is a completely new type of action game where the goal of the player is to reconnect isolated cities and a fragmented society.
Hell yeah.
It is created so that all elements, including the story and gameplay, are bound together by the theme of the strand or connection.
So it's connected together by the theme of connection.
yes.
That's
No,
what
no.
that's what we're saying
No,
here.
by the theme of strand.
Which is connection. which is the next sentence is which is connection.
Meme, scene, gene, and strand.
Like a DNA strand.
Yeah. As Sam Porter Bridges, you will attempt to bridge the divide
Oh my
in
God,
society.
his name is Sam Bridges.
No,
And
his name is Sam Porter, and he
Oh,
bridges, right?
okay.
Or is it
No,
Sam Porter
no,
Bridges?
Sam Porter Bridges is the name of your character.
Bridge babies.
As Sam Porter Bridges, you will attempt to bridge the divides in society and in doing create new bonds or strands with other players around the globe. That's the new... This is Kojima writing.
Is it just like, do you walk around it and every time you hit the square button, he just says, do you think we can just get along? Can't we all just get along? Like,
What
he's
if
just got
I-
like 4 line reads of that. And
Check
so
out-
you just go like, I guess so.
Check out this 30-foot mechanical ladder I have in my backpack.
Right.
Yeah.
We could get places with this.
I could put a spike in the ground and it lights up.
I want the character with the mask under the mask to be able to climb that ladder and do like a 450 fucking moonsault off of it.
Just like kind of kick it down
Yeah.
as you're climbing
Right.
it.
Yeah.
We'll never be able to bridge America.
Through your experience playing the game, I hope you'll come to understand the true importance of forging connections with others. This thing about create new bonds with other players around the globe makes me wonder
It almost sounds like Journey.
if there's some weird
know, like
connected
weird
aspect,
asynchronous-
some connected aspect to that game.
I think they detailed it a little bit more.
Of like, hey, you could follow in another player's footsteps,
or like
to stay
see other
safe,
players' cities or something.
Oh,
Like,
where's that from?
maybe I just made that up. Fuck, I don't know. Like, we're talking about a Kojima game, so all bets are off.
This blog post is like 90% about pre-order bonuses. So
yeah.
What do you got? Cool sunglasses.
Cool
I
sunglasses
don't
and
know.
cooler sunglasses, I think, are the two.
gold Sam sunglasses, gold hat, gold speed skeleton.
Speed skeleton.
Speed.
Increase the speed of Sam's movement. when
Sergeant
equipped.
Speed Skeleton reporting for duty.
Gold armor plate.
Hooah.
There's a gold Luden's mask sunglasses set. A
Okay.
gold power skeleton. A gold all-terrain skeleton.
Ooh, I want the
An
power
ATS,
skeleton
yeah.
over the speed skeleton.
Skeletons seem to be these frames that kind of,
Like an exoskeleton.
sort of,
Like Advanced Warfare.
kind of, yeah. I don't know. That game looks interesting.
Yes.
It does.
I'm
It looks
curious-
ambitious.
Curious what it is. I mean, there is third-person shooting. They showed some of that, but yeah, there's like
Briefcase combat.
weird building aspects to that thing with the ladder and the climbing spike and all that stuff. So, curious to see what that is. Also, I did not think that game would be out this year.
No.
I was skeptical it would be out next year. So,
Yeah, I was hard pressed to. You kind of suggesting, I think the last time we talked about it, that it would be a PS4 5.
It might be a crossover thing. I
was
guess they could
kinda-
still do that. But
I guess like it coming out this year kind of reminded me of like some conversations I had around the time the game came out about like the notion of just like, hey, they're not giving him Metal Gear money to make this game.
Unlimited
You
budget.
know, it's hey, if you can do what you're saying you're going to do within this scope and on this time,
Which is like building a completely new team, building a completely new
Yeah,
engine,
right,
from what
right.
I understand.
But I don't think Sony necessarily funded all
well,
of that.
they used Gorilla's engine,
Oh,
Right,
okay.
yeah.
which Sony also owns. So,
Yeah.
what if it's really short?
It might. I mean, I'm expecting a game that is maybe not the like a Phantom Pain. Not necessarily the most story heavy game, but hey, they came up with a lot of systems and there's a lot of like things to do in
There's
that
a big
world.
world
Sounds-
that
sounds
you
also,
cool
and
to
also
me.
like the notion of like, hey, we're going to create some things that can be repeated because it is meant to be this online kind of connected, stranded
Or
experience.
like the stuff in 5 with the nuclear disarmament stuff and
You're
like
right, like
Yeah,
those
weird-
sorts of things.
Weird
I-
online stuff.
I feel like those are the kind of touchstones for what we're about to get into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
I
but
could
we'll
see
see.
the
I
main
don't know.
story,
Yeah.
be like
6 hours.
a single digit number of hours.
Yeah, and then it could be all that
depending
could be all cutscene for all
Yeah.
we know. It's but yeah, that's kind of I think where my expectations are at these days.
Yeah, that's
with
fine
that
with me.
thing where they talk about it as a this notion of connection and bringing people together and the idea of what that means as an online game.
Like the structure of Phantom Pain is not what was wrong with that game. Like if it's
No,
if it's
yeah,
built,
it
if it's
was-
built in that mold, I'm fine with that. That sounds cool. That got this announcement got Jason Schreier on Twitter talking about how he had heard that The Last of Us 2 was originally also planned for this holiday, but that's gotten pushed to early next year. So that could be like a by March thing, let's say,
Sure.
in the fiscal year.
Yeah.
That was another one I didn't think would be out until PS5. So
I definitely thought that would come out before Death Stranding, just because it's a sequel. You'd think it's
Oh, sure.
yeah, it's
know,
been in
but-
production for.
But they've been on
a very
Death Stranding.
long
Like,
time.
when did Death Stranding get announced? Like, it feels like they've been on it for a while.
yeah.
Well, Phantom
Even
Pain,
if they had to start from scratch.
Phantom Pain came out in 2015, right? I believe, like
Sure.
September-ish, and he was out of there, I think, by the end of the year.
He was out of there as the game was shipping.
So, so I think it's been about 3 years since he announced he was teaming up with
So
Sony
that
and started building a team. So
I think it's very easy to sit and say like, oh, well, there's no way that's coming out anytime soon. But I think when now that they've announced the date and you work backwards from that into how much time they've had, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe
That
we
does
were
sound like a video game.
Yeah, that was-
maybe we were
for me-
like,
for me, that
not
was-
doing the math on it.
yeah, I
but-
mean, for me, that was more based on his propensity to just work forever
Totally.
on something and never finish it.
yeah, but that also seems like Sony might
Yeah.
not fall for that.
Maybe they just did not give him that much road.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And he probably didn't want to take. I can't imagine he's out there going like, I want to work on this forever. He's probably like, hey, things happen along the way.
Yeah.
But sure.
please look forward to it. Phil Spencer got out there, I think it was on Friday, tweeting about this. Just finished our final E3 rehearsal here with the team in Redmond. Feel really good about the briefing. Lots to show. We have 14 Xbox Game Studios games in the show this year. More first-party games than we've ever had in the show. Fun times.
Fun times.
Yeah.
Certainly helps when you buy a bunch of studios.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll see. So Xbox Game Studio titles does not necessarily mean developed internally.
Yeah.
That just
Could
means
just mean
games that they're publishing.
Yeah.
So I started to try to work from that and try to put that list together.
Yeah. Let's theory craft there.
Yeah.
Easily line up.
So
It's time for
here's-
some game theory.
yeah, it's buckle your fucking seatbelt. What am I like? Simple nose.
Or like some Game Pass theory.
So a lot of this is stuff that's already been announced.
Yeah.
If
Yeah, I think
if my calculations are correct.
we ran these equations through the supercomputer.
Yeah, and so here are 14 games / 14 studios
Yeah.
in
That
some
might have a
cases that might have a game based on things they announced last year around studio acquisitions and whatnot, and things that they have said out there. And I don't necessarily believe that this is the list, but I had to come up with 14, and here we are.
Yeah.
Gears 5,
Mhm.
Gears Pop, Gears Tactics, Halo Infinite, Fable, or whatever Playground is doing, which is probably Fable.
So far on point.
Forza, Age of Empires 2 Definitive,
Okay.
Halo Master Chief Collection for PC, Battletoads,
Oh,
Yeah, remember that?
hey.
a new Ori game. You
Oh,
think-
they
you-
announced,
you-
they announced Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Okay,
Yeah.
they announced that. Okay.
2
I've
years
played
ago.
it actually.
Okay.
Oh,
So,
has it been
okay.
playable?
Yep.
Oh,
So whatever they're calling the Ori sequel.
Yeah.
And then they acquired studios. So the Initiative, Ninja Theory, Undead Labs, and Compulsion Games could all have games
wasn't there
there.
a fifth?
That was Playground Games was
Oh,
the
right.
fifth.
Right.
And they're up there with probably Fable.
Right.
Um,
So the Ninja Theory game was rumored like a month
Yeah.
or 6 weeks ago to be that project they announced years ago that never got signed.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember the name of it.
The Initiative was
Razor?
just getting off the ground as they were making that announcement, so
Yeah.
it would be if this is the list, and I don't think this is necessarily the list.
Yeah, I mean that would be incredibly weak, right? If they showed up with I guess if they had 4 unannounced games that were totally brand new plus that other stuff, that's okay.
Sure, yeah, but like
But
also
there's nothing super surprising.
I think if they were, I think a Forza game is like an outside, like if they talk about Forza, it will not be in context of a game shipping this year. I think they're going to take a year off.
This seems like the time to do it.
And yeah, and that this would be like here's a next gen demo of what Forza will look, what the cars will look like running at 4K.
And I feel like the major thing here for the
8K,
Xbox
whatever.
One will be like, here's the Halo. Here's what Halo Infinite is. We're going to show it and talk about it in depth. 'Cause I
Yeah,
feel like-
maybe.
I don't know if this is a popular opinion, but I kind of hope that Halo Infinite is like the marquee game here.
Yeah.
Because I want a new Halo game to deserve to be a marquee game again.
Yes.
Meaning, I hope it's like different enough.
It's not just 5-2, right? You
right.
know,
Well,
which
it sounds like a
sounds-
very different game.
The scuttlebutt about Infinite, is that it sounds pretty ambitious. So
Yeah.
I want to see what that is, and I hope that it's impressive.
Yeah, and Gears Pop seems like a game that could launch at the briefing since they are in soft launch
Oh,
in
is that
it?
Australia.
Oh, that's a mobile game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Tactics is not, right?
Tactics is a
is
PC
a full-on
game.
PC game.
from the Coalition. I
Oh,
guess.
right, yes, right.
is it like a RTS?
Like
No,
a
it's like
turn-based
XCOM.
strategy.
Oh,
An
okay.
XCOM-y,
Like
yeah.
XCOM in the Gears universe could be cool.
That could
Yeah.
be, yeah,
Yeah.
like whatever, man. Like, you know,
Cover.
hey, you take
Yeah.
cover. You like, you know, if you
Yeah.
made an XCOM with Gears stuff, like
There's
that
already
would
aliens.
probably work.
And there's a bunch of different weird grub units, like
Yeah.
fucking like Brumax and
Sure.
trying to think of the flying tentacle
The
monsters. And
Berserker.
Yeah.
That's the blind one, right?
lots of
yeah.
interesting enemy types to put in there.
Yeah. That game seems like it could be cool. I don't know, just conceptually. So yeah, I don't know that I doubt that's their list, but those are 14 things they could have based on an afternoon of us kind of shooting the shit and putting a list together. So presuming that they have surprising things that are not those things, and that they would hold some things back, that could be pretty exciting.
Yeah, because like you said, they may have signed publishing deals with studios they don't own.
Right.
Yeah.
Like they could have locked down like some Japanese developer for something cool or something like that.
Because I think after when they announced they were acquiring all those studios, they kind of said like, and we're not stopping
Right.
here.
Yeah, and there were a lot of rumors going around at the time that were
right.
like, hey, there were some companies that were very close to being on the hook and maybe even being a part of that announcement that kind of just didn't happen or whatever.
There was-
There was
or
some
whatever.
pretty
there was a persistent rumor last year at E3 that a major acquisition was going to get announced and then didn't.
like way more major than
Yes.
any of the studios they picked up.
Yes.
So
like big institutional.
So even if it's just an
Companies.
announcement of something of that scale, not even like we have a game from them, it's just like, hey, they're going to be making a game for us.
exactly.
Is enough of an announcement to get people excited. I think with that list
sure, totally
to complement it.
And like some of those studios are known for certain things, but I don't necessarily think that like when we come back around, I don't think the announcement's going to be like, hey, we're making We Happy Few 2. Like, that's probably not.
No.
But maybe the State of Decay devs do the like expanded, because they were always talking like they wanted to do a much larger game.
After
right?
the first State of Decay, they were talking like, all right, we're doing an MMO next.
Yeah.
And then instead they just made 2.
Right.
Which had 4-player co-op, which was cool, but not what they were talking up initially.
I remember we were all sitting over there, and the idea of a new Fable came up, kind of in discussion, and you two were a little more open to
I'm
the
ready.
idea. So
Totally,
what do you want to see from like a new Fable?
I don't know. Hang on, I'm going to double check.
I think the thing is and I don't know that the formula would still play as is.
No,
Yeah.
I think it needs to change.
but,
It needs to evolve.
Fable 2 and 3 were good games. I think that's
I thought Fable 2 was cool.
Wait,
Fable 3 is less cool than 2
Yeah.
because it's kind of a similar thing. And I think a lot of the structure, that was the one that had all the king and the road and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like that kind of walked you into the end game before you were done
And
doing
it was
your
very
side
black or
shit,
white
and-
of
yeah.
like good and bad
Totally.
decisions.
Like Fable 3 was a shadow of Fable 2, but still all right.
Yeah.
is this legit? This headline, Playground Games Fable 4 leaks, a soft reboot that involves multiplayer and time travel? Like the leaks are happening faster than I can keep
saw,
up with.
I saw like a more recent,
that's
something
this morning.
like that. Okay.
I did not see this. I don't know how well sourced this is. I mean, talk amongst yourselves.
Well,
first.
yeah,
I mean,
I
like
think
the
a reboot
Fable
makes
stuff
sense.
was going around last year.
Well,
So
yeah.
to see follow up on this front, like even more leaky type business, like you're like, okay, that's
This is on.
that's probably what it is. I
on
mean,
Forbes.
oh well.
They're the money people.
Oh, the money people. That's where I go.
Let's see.
Well, it's weird because like there's Forbes, and
Oh,
then
this
there's
is-
like
this is a-
contributor Forbes,
no, this
which
is
is
a
basically like a user blog.
Anyone
almost.
can-
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no,
it's
this is an
like-
actual
So people go
Forbes.
like, I saw it on Forbes, and like,
This
is
is
not
This is an actual full-time Forbes reporter
okay.
posting this. It's from the leak is from Reddit. I mean,
Well then,
grain of salt. I don't know. Like leaks.
yeah,
stuff.
no,
I feel like
know. There's stuff everywhere.
feel-
I'm
If you're
not-
just
I'm
a
not-
guy who
that's
has
just me-
to
I'm
leak
just-
something,
I'm just
you
being
go to
shitty.
Reddit.
Yeah, totally.
I
Like
feel
when
like
EA leaked Need for Speed to Reddit, leaked news that they were not going to be at E3.
There's a hot leak. Nothing.
There's a hot leak. It's 8 paragraphs of like, we're still making it. Trust us. It's coming out this year. We're just
Trust
not
us.
going to show it to you here. Like, why?
I can't.
What?
I can't keep up with this. This is too
The
hard.
rabbit hole
hard-
goes too far down.
Clicking through post after post of deleted shit. And I
Yeah. Anyway,
a new Fable might be there.
Okay.
I think
what that would be.
the
in
Fable stuff has been
2019.
kicking around for so long
yeah,
now that
absolutely.
I'm willing to buy into that and go like, yeah, that's probably what it is.
What I was actually trying to find is I want to say isn't Playground Games other studio in Australia?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I must have dreamed that
Yeah.
up.
I think you conflated a Forza Horizon game being in
I
Australia
think maybe that's what it was.
with Playground Games being in
I
Australia.
think. Okay. Because they did start a second
Yes.
team.
Yeah.
But I had thought that team was
And that was
Australia.
going around last year, so that was why. Like that's the team
Yes.
working on Fable.
Yeah, it's been rumored for ages that they're
yeah.
doing a Fable game.
I think at the acquisition they said like, oh, and they're working on an open world, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Blah. It didn't specify what it was, so all that stuff lined up.
And
back
Microsoft doesn't seem done with Fable because they had that free-to-play game going that they canceled
then.
Yeah.
right, yeah.
not that long ago.
And why not? Like give Fable a fresh shot. Like it's been some time, like some fresh eyes, a fresh approach. Like the name is fine. Like the concept is, it's not.
The one thing I would hope they retain is that specific kind of cheeky style of Lionhead humor,
Right.
like that personality.
Yeah.
My dog.
No, this is going to be Dark Fable, like Dark Jack.
I would like it to be
Prince of
kind of.
Persia 2.
Yeah.
Like, I would like it to be kind of flip.
Yeah.
The way those games have been.
You want to be able to like marry 9 different
Silly.
people and get
Yeah.
into a bunch of
Yes.
dumb hijinks.
Yes.
And yeah.
And just like, garden gnomes that with very filthy mouths or so,
Yeah.
weird.
Right. Yeah.
Just their weird offbeat kind of sense of humor.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I think they could do anything. with
Right.
Fable.
I'm not sitting here going like, well, you need the colored, the buttons need to match the magic or the ranged or the melee. Like that stuff I'm not married to at all. So
You do need a dog, though.
yes. Yeah. Sure. Actually, if they put out a Fable game and didn't have some kind of dog action in it
That you can pet.
that you can pet.
That's just free
that-
advertising on that Twitter.
Right.
You
You
know?
might as well do it
Yeah.
at this point.
It's funny. People are like patching in things where you can
terrible.
pet your dog so that account will tweet out.
Mhm.
Speaking of Phil Spencer teasing E3 stuff, he put up a blog post on the Xbox Wire last week entitled Our Approach to PC Gaming. Phil Spencer continues to be very good at messaging. He says, "We've not always lived up to our aspiration of keeping gamers at the center of everything we do when it comes to the experience they've had on Windows." And then he goes on to announce 3 new steps they're taking to make the PC gaming environment better as regards their games. Game Pass for PC is the first one.
This was a no-brainer.
Yes.
I think even when we spoke with him last year, I think he said like, hey, these Game Pass benefits will carry over to PC where appropriate, but there weren't enough games on the PC for them to market a Game Pass on PC concept.
Yeah, so they're saying now it will launch with a library of over 100 games. It is separate from the Xbox Game Pass.
Do they say that specifically? Like, hey, this will be a separate subscription, and because it isn't now.
The way they phrase it, it's called Xbox Game Pass, just like the original, which implies it's separate from the Xbox.
Yeah,
but it's a new experience that we are building together with the PC community.
So I wonder if that's like, because that's them adding a bucket of new games. The third parties have to get paid.
Yeah.
Like they probably have to either maybe they do a bundle where it's like Xbox Game Pass, whatever for both.
And they're launching that. What is it? It's something Ultimate.
Xbox Live Ultimate.
Is that the actual title?
Game Pass and
okay, it's not Game Pass Ultimate. It's Xbox Live Ultimate.
Yeah, I think so.
So that's Live Gold and
Game Pass.
So maybe
for
they're
the same price, right?
No. Well, yes. You're not saving any money,
right?
Basically.
Oh, okay. But you do get to say that you're Ultimate.
I do like being Ultimate.
There you go.
But maybe they do roll this up into some all-encompassing service tier that just gets you everything they offer.
You would think.
And yeah, after that sentence, for the rest of the post, he refers to it as Xbox Game Pass for PC.
Right.
Is the full.
Which, that sounds like a separate thing.
Which is typically Microsoft style, cumbersome, wordy title that's confusing, but whatever.
It's right up there with, we've launched a new feature called Sign In with Apple. Fuck.
So yeah, they say this will have over 100 games in it. They are going to announce the lineup at E3.
But they said some publishers, right?
But yeah, they mentioned Bethesda,
Sega,
Deep Silver, Devolver, Paradox, Sega, and more.
Okay.
They also mentioned, this is kind of what I assumed when they acquired Obsidian and In Exile. It is our intent to include new games from Xbox Game Studios in Game Pass for PC the same day as their global release, including titles from newly acquired studios like Obsidian and In Exile. So, like people that saw those acquisitions and were freaking out, like, oh great, and Obsidian's just going to get stuck making third-person shooters from now on. Like, that does not sound like that's the case.
Yeah, no,
it seems like they brought them
working on a first-person shooter.
Well, yeah, you know what I mean. Like it sounds like they will still make PC-oriented games,
right,
as they have been known for.
Yeah,
Let's see. You will also get 20% off games if you are a part of this.
That's
on the Microsoft Store.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, there you
go. 10% off of DLC and related add-ons. And then, more E3 or more at E3 on that stuff. This seems like the big one to me, actually, which is that they essentially are going to start selling their games on as many PC stores as they can get them onto.
Right.
Is more or less how they put it. They didn't really come out and say, hey, we're getting on GOG and Origin and whatever, but
they said Steam and they want to go elsewhere.
So they had announced that Master Chief Collection is coming to not just PC, but Steam a few weeks ago, which is a big deal because they typically only sell stuff on their own Microsoft store. But now they have come out and flat out said Gears 5 and Age of Empires 1, 2, and 3 definitive editions will also all be coming to Steam.
Yeah.
And basically imply that kind of going forward, all of their first-party games will.
Yeah, and then it sounds like that they are committed to making sure those versions work with the store, the Microsoft Store versions.
Yeah.
They're offloading a lot of the achievement and friend stuff off to that Xbox Game Bar, which I'm not a fan of. So I took the May update. For Windows 10.
Me too, but I've had Game Bar turned off since they
it either turned Game Bar back on when I installed that, or just something, because like I was started getting like, hey, someone has followed you on Xbox Live, like pop-outs from the right, like not in the normal notification tray. It was like very much a Game Bar notification. And I was like, man, fuck that. I don't want that at all.
Yeah.
But they've got right now they have, like if you pop that Game Bar open, you'll get like your Xbox friends list and stuff listed there on the overlay. So basically, it pops up an overlay that's like, start broadcasting now. So it does all the same like streaming stuff that it did before.
Right.
It's not just Mixer; it'll go to other services. And then it's got like a CPU, like a performance meter there if you want to see CPU, GPU.
That's cool.
It's got audio settings, which is actually kind of a nice quick pop-up to be able to just like set defaults and some other stuff if you're plugging in shit and it changes and all that. That's not bad. But I don't really intend to use that to broadcast or like I don't really care about the social side of Xbox Live these days.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm open to caring about it again if they can actually unify that stuff in a way that makes sense.
Sure.
But,
yeah. But whatever, if they're going to make that work with whether you bought the Steam version or the Microsoft Store version, and at some point this makes sense for them to get those games on as many stores as possible.
Yeah.
Because they are all effectively driving you to, I mean, you could buy the Master Chief Collection on Steam, but why don't you just sign up for Game Pass?
Yeah.
And get that stuff from the Microsoft Store, which hopefully will. Did you ever, Jason? Do you ever get the Microsoft Store working?
No, afraid not.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll only install on my C drive. If I try and install it anywhere else, it won't download for whatever reason.
Weird.
Who's ready to reinstall Windows?
I tried that.
I've
gone completely clean. Yep, and still nothing.
And that's something Phil Spencer has been out there talking a lot about, is like getting the PC experience. Like this is something he's obviously cares about, is like trying to get
and he does say
PC Xbox
the counter to that,
better.
I would say, is that people before him have given similarly impassioned, like they've been through this process about 9 different times about like we're committed to gaming on the PC. But I think
seems like the closest
that
they've
said,
gotten
I think
it.
all this stuff sounds good.
I will say I believe him in a way I haven't believed past executives.
Agreed.
He seems like he's really in it for real.
So and all these announcements seem like they're the right move for where they're at.
So they're really putting themselves in a good position
Yeah.
for the new consoles.
I think so.
At the end of this paragraph, talking about all their games coming to Steam, he says, "We also know that there are other stores on PC, and we are working to enable more choice in which store you can find our Xbox Game Studios titles in the future." So maybe they'll try to come to GOG or
Epic,
that
sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you at that point?
Yeah.
Like if you're opening that door, open it all the way. There's no point.
So the third announcement in
Switch
this,
eShop.
There you go.
third announcement, it just sounds ridiculous for multiple reasons. It's entitled "Supporting Win32 Games on Windows 10."
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you mean the same games you've been doing for 25 years now?
Yeah.
My favorite line from this part: "We recognize that Win32 is the app format that game developers love to use and gamers love to play."
I love that shit. When
Yep.
I get a new game, I look for that 32.
Fucking gamers love Win32. I mean,
they
do.
People
Technically,
fucking hate
they do.
UWP for a lot of reasons.
I know.
so-
I know exactly what he's getting
Yeah.
at. It's just the way it's phrased.
Well,
like,
you got to phrase it that way.
I
You
know.
can't phrase it as like, boy, UWP sure did fucking
Yeah.
shit the bed in a lot of different ways because you can't mod it easily. You know, sometimes it's hard to hook into with streaming software.
Yeah.
You can't run. You have to buy it from the Microsoft Store, which people don't like.
Yeah.
You can't give that side of it. So yes, it's going to be like Win32. It's the choice of an old generation and now the new generation.
But yeah, this seems like a smart step. They will start distributing Win32 games on the Microsoft Store.
They'll make the Microsoft Store matter by doing that. You know, it means more games can come to that store
And people
because
won't-
developers don't have to do the work to package it up in that specific format.
Yeah.
I heard gamers are very excited about more stores to buy games from on their personal
Everyone's
computer.
looking for more stores.
more launchers.
Hey, that
more
Microsoft
stores.
Store, you don't have to run shit.
That's true. It's
right there.
Right there in the
Yeah.
bottom left
And then-
corner.
and
You
then
go
once
to
you
your
download
start
it-
menu and you hit go. And it's
Yeah, I was
fucking
going to say, once you download the game, assuming you can download games,
Well, yeah,
you never have to open the store again. Yeah, you just run the game. And this stuff, the Win32 stuff, is more meaningful because of Game Pass. Like,
Yes.
a lot of people may be downloading Microsoft games on the PC because they're getting them for like $1.
Yeah.
Because you can get Game Pass trials for $1 quite frequently, or even $10. So yeah, that seems like a big chunk of their PC news. Seems smart to get this stuff out of the way before the press conference because this is not stage worthy.
Right.
I mean,
Well,
they're big
the-
announcements,
yeah.
but they're very wordy and technical and kind of like
they're clunky.
they would
So
really deflate the excitement in the room if
But
they
also, like, you know, this stuff is kind of a big
It-
deal.
it absolutely
it's not,
is.
you know, it's not small. So,
Yeah.
like, the idea of them getting this out of the way ahead of the press conference also kind of gives that little showy aspect of just like, This is the shit we're getting out
Yeah.
here.
Guess what we got for the show.
So we can hit you with games here.
And they can still be up on the shows and have a line that's like, and we've recently done this.
And then they can have a trailer that's like, here are the games that are coming to Game Pass
Right.
for PC. Here's when and how much it'll be.
Without having to
You
worry
know?
about
like a Win32 logo and everyone,
Yeah.
all
Without
the
having to-
gamers go wild.
Intel Inside shows up.
without having to
fucking everyone
confuse-
goes, yeah,
without having to confuse people with some of this terminology
Cyrix CPU.
they may not be familiar with. Our first PC was a clone of a Cyrix.
Not even a Cyrix.
It was made
like
by
a fucking,
It was made by Texas Instruments.
Oh man.
It had a separate external math coprocessor soldered to the
yeah,
motherboard.
yeah.
Math co.
Good shit. Okay, that's Microsoft PC news. Last story, they announced this a week and a half ago. I had it last week in the news and we forgot to talk about it. They made some announcements about Project xCloud, which is their big streaming platform.
Yeah.
It's more developer focused, really, but it's still kind of good stuff to know. The first part is anything that runs on an Xbox One will automatically work on xCloud. No modifications necessary, no patching, no work on the parts of developers. So that means 360 games that are backwards compatible.
Yeah.
Original Xbox games that are backwards compatible. Anything that runs on an Xbox One will immediately stream on xCloud.
Everything?
I think so.
Everything? Am I going to hook a Kinect up to the cloud?
Well,
I mean, the games would theoretically still
yeah, the
run
games would
without
boot.
oh, yeah.
the Kinect.
I know. Yes.
Yes,
Well,
okay.
some would. I mean, Dance Central.
Okay, I can't say that end users will be able to stream anything they've ever bought on an Xbox, but the point being, developers don't have to do extra work to get it streaming.
Right.
Like, it just works. It plugs in. They're also unifying the kind of build process so that you won't have to maintain the xCloud version of your game separately. It'll be you just patch the game once and it goes out everywhere to every version. They say that they have deployed custom Project xCloud blades to their Azure data centers in 13 regions. So that means third-party publishers are now able to test their games. You may remember that the first public beta is happening later this year. So that means
I do remember that.
they're deploying their hardware so that people can start using it. And then the last part of this that I thought was actually kind of cool is that there are going to be some API updates that give developers some streaming specific features. Like the one they mentioned is that it could allow developers to automatically tweak the font size in a game based on what device you're playing it on.
Oh.
So if you were playing on a phone, they could put stuff in to kind of make the text bigger.
That sounds great.
As appropriate. So automating some of that stuff sounds really cool.
Yeah. That sounds handy.
It's just some nuts and bolts stuff, but presumably we are going to hear more about that there. Probably.
I would assume we would hear something.
They've got a lot to talk about.
They do. They really do.
They've got a bunch of new studios. They've got a new console. They've got a streaming platform. They've got PC
They've
initiatives.
chosen a good year to go to E3.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be a lot. Apple announced yesterday that Xbox One and PS4 controllers are finally going to work with iOS and the Apple TV.
Good.
Which, finally.
They're kind of between this and the Steam Link iOS. It seems like Apple's maybe becoming a little more open to.
Well,
I wonder if it's like an openness or just like oh man, we don't give a fuck anymore.
I think their hand is being forced because their iPhone revenue is down.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Dramatically.
Yeah.
I think they are basically coming late to what Microsoft realized years ago, which is you have to be a services company now because
Right.
people are not going to buy a new phone every year forever.
Yeah.
What about
Yeah,
a $5,000 computer?
Oh, then why would you get the $5,000 version? What do you?
You're
it's
right.
Garbage. I'm not spending at least $12K on a computer and then also another $5 on the monitor.
And then $100 for the monitor stand.
It's $1,000.
$1,000.
You missed a zero. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Look, if you're making movies out there with a computer, then you can afford all that shit.
Hey, I'm
That's
not.
Yeah.
And
then,
most of the people I know aren't.
then you don't need that. You
No.
probably don't need that
No.
computer anyway.
No.
So
Nobody does.
someone does.
I
There's
do.
someone somewhere. Yeah.
I'll take it.
We should get. I mean, because we used to got those fucking trash cans, right? The old Mac Pros.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm using them. Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think? You want to try and
I think that
get one of these
We
things?
could fit it on the
That thing
budget.
looks
Yeah,
I
we'll
think.
create some cheese.
God, that thing looks
Hell
so
yeah.
bad.
We'll get
It
one per
does.
quarter. Whatever, man. It looks tough.
Oh. It looks like it got shot up by like Scarface.
Yeah, that's fine. It's still there, ready to fucking render.
I mean, I love a good rugged metal thing with a handle, but those holes just look dumb.
Doesn't it have wheels? I didn't watch the.
I did.
You can put
They did
wheels
not
on it.
say how much the wheel like cart add-on costs.
Those
but-
are
$250 each.
$1,000.
Yeah.
I'm a little confused. I didn't watch.
Let's get
that.
one and play Quake 1 on 28 cores.
Yeah.
All right, I'm in.
I didn't watch that stream yesterday, so I'm not fully up to date on what iPad OS is exactly. But
They're just kind of splitting it to
yeah, I mean that was my sense. But this write up on The Verge does not mention the iPad at all. It mentions that these controllers will work with tvOS, which is what Apple TV runs. Also,
Yeah.
I think it's really dumb they've
tvOS.
split out and rebranded all of their portable operating system stuff. But anyway,
It made sense because tvOS is like different. You know, it's on a
I guess
different
so,
version.
sure.
Like
Yeah, okay.
WatchOS is a different. Like
Yeah,
those are very
okay.
different products.
Yeah.
The iPad thing seems a little strange.
Yeah.
But that's just them. That seems like a marketing thing. I wonder if that's actually like a meaningful change.
well, there have been a ton of demands for a long time for the iPad to get more of a laptop-like interface.
yeah, and they've
capabilities.
been getting there. Like
Yeah.
it hasn't necessarily. It's not parity. It's not like an iPad and an iPhone are identical.
No,
Like
but
from a usability perspective.
Right.
So like they were already branched in a way.
they're getting there. But like, I didn't realize this until yesterday, but apparently, like Android tablets have mouse support and have
Oh, yeah,
for
yeah.
quite a while.
Yeah,
So
totally.
people want more laptop-like stuff on
Yeah.
an iPad, so that makes sense. Anyway, the reason I mentioned that is that this Verge write-up only mentions the iPhone getting the controller support.
I think because they did the controller stuff very early in the presentation before they had gotten to the iPad OS stuff. So
Okay.
so that would be exactly how they would mention
Okay,
that because
so-
they wouldn't necessarily.
So there's not necessarily a split there.
no,
Okay.
not necessarily.
Okay.
I'm glad that they're finally just kind of whether this is them throwing up their hands or whatever it is, because like God, the number of years and the number of people that I've heard say like, oh yeah, we got Apple's new controller. I think they're getting ready to announce it this time. We've got it. We've got one. Like people saying that they have Apple's new iPhone fucking gamepad,
Yeah.
and then it never materializing and all this other shit. You're like, okay, I'm like, well, sure,
Yeah.
whatever. Like I'd really like to know what those things looked like. I bet they just looked like a fucking Xbox controller, but
It looked
felt
like an
bad.
Ouya controller.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like here's the Google Stadia controller.
Yeah. Hey, Sony and Microsoft both have good controllers.
They spent a lot of money making those. It
Yeah,
turns out.
yeah,
I'm sure that
I'm
the
fine.
R&D or whatever Microsoft put out like an R&D video around the Xbox One controller that was actually kind of impressive.
Yeah.
They spent a lot of fucking money making those things good. So why not just
And we all have them now.
They did the work already.
Yeah.
It's fine.
don't need to buy another controller.
I thought it was weird that Sony actually got out there and like tweeted something about it like real quick and saying like, hey, we'll have, there'll be more later this year, which I think that's just means iOS 13 is coming out later this year. But
yeah,
it was interesting to see Sony acknowledge that like, yes, you can use one of these controllers on that thing.
And Apple has that iOS Arcade service coming.
Yeah.
If you remember, it's going to have exclusive games in it. So
Apple Arcade.
Maybe, is that what it is?
Yeah.
So maybe some of those will have controller support. Maybe.
I would expect that. Yeah.
Because you're going to be subscribing to 18 different services a month now. Speaking of which,
You only need one.
which one?
Giant Bomb Premium.
Yeah, we'll get you all those games. Just meet
know
us,
a guy.
meet us out back later.
I got the good APKs.
Speaking of which, the phrase Ubisoft Pass showed up briefly in the Uplay store. Or the Ubisoft store, I should say.
Yeah.
As like actually the full name of the product listing that went up was Ubisoft Pass Premium. So it may be a tiered thing.
Oh,
Oh, great.
boy.
Or it
Even
may not,
better.
or it may never come to fruition. It may not actually exist. This could have been an error. It went up very briefly on the store. It had no image attached to it, and then it was taken down.
I mean, this just sounds like
But-
the EA.
Yeah,
EA's got their.
you can
their
very
two-tiered
easily
thing.
figure out exactly what this might be.
Ubisoft is out there talking about wanting to get into streaming on its own and all this other stuff too. So
Yeah.
who knows what their ambitions
Yeah,
are
like
ultimately. But
they've had the Uplay client for so long. I'm surprised it took them this long to make this move.
And if you think about it, they've kind of built up a reputation as being the company that best supports their games post-release.
Sure,
And so it makes sense that if you want to sign up for the service, it means you can kind of keep revisiting these games.
Yeah, I think I would argue they have a better lineup than EA to support a service like this.
yes, yeah.
Trying to think what.
Like a lot of what Ubi's making are kind of live games in a sense of
Mhm.
like even stuff like Assassin's Creed has updates and some kind of online connectivity.
Just thinking back on the last few years of both of those publishers. Like,
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ubisoft is clearly out in front quality-wise, I think.
But that's the thing. If the games are good, you don't need this service as much because people are willing to buy them. Whereas, like, you look at something like Anthem, and you're like, man, if you could play that for $1, do it.
Yeah.
But
I didn't put this in news, but I looked at my Origin client yesterday, and I had a Anthem public test server download option. They're launching that this week, so you can get on there and fiddle with the stuff they're developing.
how many?
Fiddle with check out the game as they're removing more and more things from it.
Well, God, think about that. Like, you've already seen some people complaining a bit about wait times and queues and not finding players at higher difficulty levels.
I saw people say, or not even that, but I saw people just saying basically, because like remember when it came out, the way the story works is it matches you with people
Right.
every time you go out and do a story mission.
Yeah.
People are saying like, yeah, if you play through the campaign now, you're playing it by yourself.
And if you're playing the higher difficulties and stuff, which is where everybody are, but even those apparently dried up a little bit.
Yeah.
Now you've got a public test server that people could play on that shards it again.
I think
How many fucking people are even going to be playing?
Yeah.
I think they, if I understood correctly, this was mostly to test their Cataclysm stuff, which is kind of like their raid equivalent, I believe.
So not necessarily like a full-time rolling thing,
Yeah,
just
no.
like a, hey, we're going to put it up for this week.
I think that's
Yeah, they didn't remove stuff from the game per se. There was more that they updated their roadmap to take all the dates off of it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the last time I checked in was when they were taking out those treasure chests.
That one type of chest
right,
that they
right.
disabled.
Okay, yeah. But the update last week was like they removed all of the accountability from the roadmap,
Right.
which makes sense when you consider how sideways that game's gotten. The idea of them committing to a date for this stuff right now when they've probably got bigger fish to fry.
It's insane.
I take it more as they've got bigger fish to fry in fixing that game, and they'll get to that point, and not we're shutting it down and not delivering that
Totally.
stuff.
Yeah.
I think
That might come one day. But like we're
well,
in there.
I mean,
I
Andrew-
bet that they deliver on the stuff that they said, because to do otherwise, I'm not a lawyer, but that sounds like a class action at some point.
Especially with the government breathing down
Yeah.
everybody's neck,
Right.
over microtransactions and
Because
stuff right now.
they showed that roadmap prior to release,
Yeah.
so you could make the case of someone saw that, bought the game knowing it would have this support,
Yeah.
and if it doesn't get there, they have a grievance.
That's interesting because that's happened with like Kickstarters, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I guess Kickstarter has its own clause that's like you are
Kickstarter
not
was written in there. Yeah,
responsible,
Kickstarter writes
or
in a
you are
bunch
not
of
guaranteed any of
yeah.
this.
No one is responsible in the Kickstarter situation.
I mean, talk is cheap, but Andrew Wilson said, when was their earnings? Like
A couple weeks
a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Like there was a line in there about like, I forget how he put it, but he said they're going to stick with Anthem and see it through.
I think they will. I think they will see it through.
Yeah.
I think they'll probably see it through what they have committed to. But like the real test is like, do they keep supporting it past?
Yeah, do they announce
the announced
anything
stuff? Like, yeah,
Well,
after
that
the
depends on
announcements?
if it has like a Destiny-like turnaround.
we're past that point.
You think?
Yeah,
Ah,
we're way past
Destiny
that
I
point.
feel like I feel like their last chance is this big raid thing.
maybe.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on how much work they put into it. Like Destiny 1 was reviled for the first year, and then Taken King came out, and everybody was like, "Holy shit!"
But like
they fixed this.
reviled for very different reasons.
Yeah, I
It
guess
was
so.
reviled for like, man, this didn't have.
I wish
the
there was more to
content. I wish it
do.
was more. It wasn't reviled in a this is broken and missing basic features and
Yeah.
what the hell and,
Yeah.
and hey, every patch you're getting further away from what players seem to want. Like Anthem has had a very different arc to where I like you can't compare the two.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
They would have to have drastic, like either an incredible gameplay patch or like some sort of like it's free now somehow in a weird way, or
Yeah.
just like
Sure,
Something like that.
Some dramatic change to like support further development or something. I just don't see it. But
I'm
I've been
open.
fucking wrong before.
Yeah,
believe it or
I'm
not.
open to revisiting that game if they
Sure.
do some serious stuff with it, but we'll see.
Like the stuff they've been doing, you look at it and go it feels like the patches they're putting out now still read like things that should have had at launch. Of
Yes.
just like,
Oh, yeah,
well,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now you can change this in the middle
Right.
of the mission.
Now you
can
can
do this.
now you
like-
can launch
like,
missions from anywhere in the fort.
like, geez.
Yeah.
It's got to be one of those situations where everyone on that team knew that it needed that, but they, no one was sitting there going like, "Oh, players want this? Wait, what?"
Yeah.
With that game, because that stuff's pretty fucking obvious.
Yeah.
But it takes time to develop that stuff. So
Yeah.
whatever.
Speaking of leaks, I basically rounded up every
Leaks of Legends.
yeah, every remotely plausible sounding leak and rumor that I saw over the last week. I have
you're
here.
in the rumor mill.
Connecticut 2.
that Ubisoft Pass was the first one. Speaking of Ubisoft, this is probably pretty legit because it came from Amazon UK. A product listing went up
Well, if it's
yesterday.
UK then
Uh,
for this game.
yeah. Yeah, they put up a product listing yesterday for a game called Watch Dogs Legion.
Yeah.
So good on them for not calling it Watch Dogs 3. That's cool.
Didn't see a lot of underscores or zeros or
No.
anything in the title.
Well, you gotta
which-
wait to watch how the it
Yeah, that'll
glitches
just
out.
that'll be a stylized trailer thing.
Yeah.
You're right.
The pitch sounds cool. Here's what was on the page. Play as anyone. Every individual you meet in the open world has a full set of animations, voiceover, character traits, and visuals that are generated and guided by gameplay systems. That sounds interesting. Although I
Like you're
also-
recruiting people to a team, right?
Yeah.
You're,
But you
you're
can- yeah,
building
you-
a legion.
and you can play as any of them.
Yeah.
So I wonder if the game even has a written, like an authored protagonist.
I
or-
assume it must have you have to
Like
start
a tutorial
somewhere, right?
mission where you start as.
But even then, it could be a character. You could create your first
Yeah, maybe you
character,
create
and
your
then
first
from
character.
there, you just bounce around to whoever else you find.
I think that really feeds into the whole Watch Dogs, the idea of like kind of a faceless, nameless protagonist makes sense in the whole like digital age.
Yeah.
Yeah. They are everywhere.
Yeah.
They are legion. Yeah,
God.
sure. Like,
Oh
it all- yeah,
no.
totally.
Oh no! It takes with
Guy Fawkes masks.
too.
It's everything. It's
No.
Yeah, it's-
Does it come out November 5th?
Oh no.
was there a date attached to it?
I don't actually. No, there was not.
Okay.
Schreier posted that he had been hearing that name for a while, so it sounds pretty legit. He also said, I've heard you'll see different things at different points in the game depending on which NPC you're playing as. In fact, from what I've heard, the system is so ambitious that it's been causing the developers a lot of headaches and may have led to at least one delay.
We don't play as NPCs.
Well, yeah.
But
Non-player
yeah.
characters.
But hearing
by default.
it described as ambitious is kind of exciting because I think that
Yeah.
that sounds like a cool system if they pull it off.
I guess it just comes down to like, okay, there are plenty of games that can't get one voice actor right.
Yeah.
So the idea of like, hey, play as anybody and they've all got their own stuff like that. That sounds like a set of traits,
Yeah.
and a set of voices, and like this is male voice number 4.
Yeah, it's possible.
It's, like that sort of stuff. Like,
Yeah.
Because that's just realistically how you would probably do that, unless it's so ambitious that they're using computer voices and adjusting sliders and all this other crazy shit. But
Yeah, I can't wait to see the video of like the first person to get every NPC
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the same room talking or something. You know.
Yeah, it's like the whole Nolan North talking to Nolan North thing.
right, yeah.
I think it sounds neat.
Yeah, me too.
I've been ready for this Watch Dogs game for a while, so I'm interested to see what they do. The London setting always sounded cool.
Yeah.
Them deliberately kind of positioning this as a post-Brexit game.
Yeah.
I think gives them some meat if they want to go there.
Yeah.
And Watch Dogs seems like the franchise that, of the apolitical ass fucking franchises Ubisoft has had or tried to have, Watch Dogs seems like the one that at least tried to say something last time out.
yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
Very interested in hearing more about that.
Totally. The phrase "Red Faction Evolution" appeared on an NVIDIA Ansel site at one point, and actually it was up for a while. Let me see if it's still there. No longer there, but it was there for a while.
Okay, so
Even after this started going around, like, what? New Red Faction game?
Then that almost has to be real, then, right? 'Cause you don't
Yes.
like they don't just make that shit up.
Yeah. No.
And then that'd be THQ Nordic or
Yes.
whatever.
Yes.
Great.
I don't know who would be making it because they're basically just a publisher, right? Like they don't have internal teams necessarily.
I have no idea.
Unless they've started a studio to make it, but
I think they're revealing some games this week.
they do own Red Faction. Yeah.
I would love another Red Faction.
Yeah. I don't know what I would want out of it.
Destructibility.
Yeah. I
That's
guess,
the only thing.
Destrucity.
I mean, they did. They put out that remastered version of Gorilla, remastered version of Gorilla last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a modern kind of evolution of that would be cool.
Yes.
Because the sequel,
The one after that was Armageddon.
it was
which
weird. It had like
Armageddon was
rail
bad.
shooter
Armageddon,
moments
yeah,
and
yeah.
It was a
stuff.
Gears clone.
Yeah,
and it was
I
it was
reviewed that game.
like
It
largely
was-
set underground,
Yes.
so you kind of couldn't do the cool thing you could do in that
Yeah.
last one.
There
It was
was
also
very-
tied into that TV show.
Yes, there was very little destructibility.
Oh right.
So it just sucked. It's just it was a
I don't
real
remember
letdown.
a ton about it, but it was a mostly a Gears clone. I want to say some of the weapons there was a little bit of
There's like a
destructibility.
black hole. Yeah, because there was like a black hole gun or something.
Yeah,
that
like
take
there
shit
were
apart,
like
right?
limited.
Or you could build things, right? It was like you had a
Maybe?
gun that would rebuild bridges
Yeah,
and
that
stuff.
sounds right.
Yes, I think that's
Yeah.
right.
Whatever, man.
That's it was not.
Remember that thing you
Armageddon
all
was cool.
loved? We did the opposite in this game.
Oh, yeah. Well, it worked for Singularity.
It was not a terrible game, but it was definitely not what you want out of Red Faction.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess something in the gorilla mold.
Let
would
me
probably-
get a big hammer and
Okay.
run up to a building and
Okay.
start smashing it, and it falls down.
You should get into Minecraft.
There's no big hammers in Minecraft.
You get a pickaxe. It's like a hammer. It's like a sharp hammer.
That's worse.
What? It's like a hammer with a point at the end of it. It's
Yeah, but
big,
if
it's
I'm
heavy, you
hitting-
swing it around, but also it stabs.
If I'm hitting a steel
see?
girder, I don't want a pickaxe because you're just doing like little tiny dents in
you
it.
still got force there.
Nah.
You need a better pickaxe, like made out of diamonds.
Whoa, you can do that.
Diamond
I
pickaxe.
just have a wood one. I've got wood.
Whoa. I got diamonds.
let's
I got to
see.
mine all these diamonds.
Site called PlayStation Lifestyle has a rumor that a new Borderlands 2 DLC is coming out next week.
Yeah.
As a bridge to 3,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. They're saying it's going to be called Commander Lilith and the Fight for Sanctuary. Kind of a neat idea, honestly, if it's true.
I had to look up and even see like how you would play this on modern consoles, and I forgot about the
Yeah, they re-released all
whatever
that stuff.
edition
Yeah.
So
that
the,
had 2 and the
The
pre-sequel.
whatever edition.
Isn't that
Which
the
that
Handsome
was,
collection?
yeah,
Handsome
that's
collection
on
is on
PS Plus,
PS
right?
Plus this month. So that would be especially well timed.
That all checks
Oh,
out.
nice.
If they are giving Borderlands 2 away to people that have PlayStation Plus, maybe a good time to put out an add-on for it. But
like my character is on my 360.
yeah, like I
Yeah.
would have to start a new character to play that. I don't know. It's still a neat idea. I mean, maybe they let you just like maybe they give you a leveled up character and you can just go straight to the DLC.
Yeah.
The DLC typically would scale, but only past a certain point. So it was like once you got
That's
past
right.
like level 20,
That's
you
right.
were good for any DLC
Yeah.
because it would scale roughly to your level when you first entered it. So,
But yeah,
I assume they've thought of all solutions to the common problem of I don't have that game system anymore.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but yeah, that's exactly what it's described as is a thing that would bridge the gap between Borderlands 2 and 3.
But I thought not pre-sequel.
Tales
Tales was
is involved. Yeah, that's also the
bridge.
word.
But way more people played Borderlands 2 than
Yes.
played Tales from the Borderlands.
Yes.
So you can't just rely on that as your
and so
hook.
maybe there's like a
Especially
like here's
considering
what
that game's
happened
not for sale right now.
Like here's the important stuff
Yeah.
that happened in Tales.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, he can spin those tails. He can fly.
Yep.
There's
Also, there-
important facts about Tails.
there could
His
be
name is Miles.
there could be a gap in time between Tales and 3 that this will cover. I hope this is true. That's a neat idea to go back to an old game like that and tell some more story through there. I believe, let's see, I saw this on the Reset Era forum last week. There was a post on a Chinese site. It might have been on Weibo. I forget where this popped up, but Witcher 3 on Switch was the word.
Switcher 3.
Switcher 3.
Switch it through.
Yep.
Switcher 3.
We have to get it out of our
Switcher 3.
systems now. Everyone at home, just
Three,
say it a few
two,
times.
Switcher.
Yeah.
1.
Switcher
Switcher
3.
There you
Okay.
go.
Right.
And then the very first response to this post was somebody saying, yeah, it's probably one of those streaming versions like
Like
like-
Assassins.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it would be
Assassin's
huge
Creed.
file size wise.
not just that, but I
Yeah.
mean that game did not run the best on PS4 and Xbox when it came out. Like
Right.
the idea that they could get that thing working on a Switch, I feel like is a pipe dream. Stranger things have happened.
Spend enough time banging on it, you can do anything.
I
but,
mean,
We got
like,
Mortal Kombat 11 working
Yeah.
on
Well,
the
that's the
Switch.
thing. That's the thing. Yeah, like if you reduce the
heard that last patch actually did.
Fixed a lot of stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Can you see the moon now?
Hey,
Ooh.
Can you?
I heard that the draw distance is a little bit better.
Okay. All right.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, this could be something like that. This isn't necessarily. I mean, I would be super impressed if they got that game natively working on a Switch, but we will see. Stranger things have happened, I suppose.
Like that show.
Is that coming to Switch?
It's already there.
Whoa.
Wait, doesn't that come out on the 4th? I think it comes out on July 4th.
Oh, I meant the movie.
Oh.
The show. This is a Netflix Switch
There,
app,
there,
right?
there literally is a Stranger
I don't
Things
think-
game
I
coming
don't know
out.
that there
Is there
is.
no
Is there no
Netflix?
Netflix on? Is Netflix on? I don't think
No,
there. Yeah.
I don't believe so.
Damn it.
But I think that game is that game coming to Switch?
What game?
Surely the Stranger Things
They announced
game.
a Stranger Things game to come out alongside season 3.
Okay.
It's a beat 'em up.
It looks like old video games.
Oh, sick.
It's got pixel art, like the 80s.
It's like when they put out that Scott Pilgrim game and it was just like a bad River City Ransom.
Hey, that game was good.
Fuck that
That
game.
game was good. Great
that game.
soundtrack
Can
too.
can you still no longer get that game?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Can no longer
you can
get
no
that
longer
game.
get
It never,
that game.
it never came back.
You could. There was a shop. You could upgrade stuff.
Yeah, like River City Ransom.
Just because a game gets made doesn't mean it can't get made again.
You're absolutely right. But in this case, River City Ransom is still a better game.
Maybe. I don't know. You got 4 buttons on that controller.
I don't need 4. Not for what I'm doing. I'm punching, I'm kicking, I'm jumping. Ooh.
That sounds like 3.
You hit both to jump. Sick.
Yeah, it sounds great.
Yeah.
All right, last week, Bungie announced that they will be doing a stream on Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific to talk about the future of Destiny or whatever they've got next. Then they put out a patch for Destiny 2 today. People instantly data mined a JPEG out of it that says exactly what they're announcing. It's called Destiny 2 Shadow Keep. It's set on the moon, which is kind of
Our
exciting.
moon?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's cool because I think the moon was probably my favorite location from the first game.
A lot of helium.
It's true.
It's where the wizards come from, right?
This says this is from the image that people pulled out of that patch. The next chapter in the Destiny experience arrives this fall as terrifying shadows descend upon a forgotten moon. Return to the lunar surface, journey deep into a mysterious enemy citadel, become a slayer of nightmares. So
I want this to be a bait and switch. I want this to be.
Yeah.
We knew you fucking data mining motherfuckers were gonna.
that actually would be great.
We conveniently put this all in one JPEG. It's like the first file.
That would be pretty good, actually. I would give them credit for that.
And they start the stream by blowing up the moon.
Yeah.
And they're like, motherfuckers, surprise.
It's got a big available for pre-purchase today on it, which I was wondering like why would they put this in a patch that's months before this would probably come out, but that's why, because they'll probably be taking pre-orders for it immediately.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, this is the first big thing that they will have announced since all the Activision stuff went down.
Right.
So seems like I'm trying to think, when did Destiny 2 came out in 2017? Yeah, so Forsaken was the first like full big expansion last fall.
Right.
Presumably this may be another one of those.
Huh.
I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of post Activision. There's a bunch of questions up in the air about what Bungie does going forward, right?
Yeah.
Right. And you have to wonder, it's still Destiny 2. There's a lot of framework that's set there. So is this, I think people would look at this and go like, is this going to be the true realization of like Bungie's vision without Activision's involvement?
I wonder if this is
And is that any different? Was there actually any undue influence there?
Maybe
that,
not.
Negatively impacted the experience? And also, can they realize that in Destiny 2, or do we have to wait for a full new game built from the ground up to where it feels different?
I mean, I would guess it hasn't been long enough since that all went down.
Yeah.
This is probably, in
This
fact,
probably,
I would
this
assume
almost certainly was in the works.
this is probably what they had planned for this year anyway.
Yeah.
And didn't they forget their contract stipulated they had like milestones to hit, right? Like they had to put out
Yeah, I think that was
expansions every X number of months or whatever.
I'm sure that the contracts that got out were probably redone, and as things changed with that game. So.
I think the bigger question to me is, I mean, the answer has to be no at this point, right? Like, do they put out a third game before the new consoles come out? Like, no. Right?
No.
No chance in hell.
This is probably the thing that takes them into the next gen territory.
Yeah.
But also, I don't think they would be there at launch next year. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe
not. I don't know. It's hard to say. Or do they do the thing they did last time and put out versions for both consoles?
Oh gosh,
which seems pretty limiting.
Yeah,
I would love to see a top to bottom kind of rebuild of everything that Destiny is for the new machines.
And I'm sure that they would probably like to make sweeping changes to it at this point too, just from a tech perspective. Like, who knows if they're even able to do. Yeah,
I would fucking kill for that thing to become something akin to like a No Man's Sky, where you can just like get in a ship manually and fly it around to different planets.
Sure.
Instead of going through menus for everything and just loading into like kind of standard size shooter levels.
Would you want? Yeah, I guess you see the whole planet. But would you want to have to do that, or would you want that to be an option? Like, would you want like a lot of gameplay to be involved in space travel.
I guess the way I look at Destiny is that they've always tried to make shooter WoW.
Yeah.
And I just want it to be closer to World of Warcraft in terms of exploration.
Mm-hmm.
A little more freedom of
Right.
movement,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. I think would be cool. But who knows?
Flying mounts is what you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now you're talking.
Got it.
You don't get to see your cool ship enough.
Yeah.
There's not enough screens.
Yeah, for all the ships that drop as loot, how cool would it be for that ship to just be in the world
Yeah,
with you all
totally.
the time, and you could see it and run up to
Yeah.
it and get in
And
it?
you think about it, like a Destiny 3 would really be the first time that they would have a clean slate chance to look at the landscape and look at like what Warframe has done.
Yeah.
And really revisit what the core of Destiny even is.
Yeah.
You could almost see them saying like, okay, Destiny 3 is actually, or the next to like big Destiny release is this big free to play thing, and like they could go a totally different direction with it.
What if they just call it Destiny?
What if, yeah, I mean,
That's what
I
they
think
should
at
do.
that point that's
They
probably
should put out a product on the new consoles called Destiny and just stick with that from now on.
Yeah.
That's what they should do. Well, we'll find out more about this moon stuff on Thursday, at least.
this moon stuff.
Yeah.
This moon business.
Speaking of free-to-play games, Respawn has put out some information about Season 2 of Apex Legends and also an event starting this weekend,
Yeah,
just in
Saturday.
time for all of us to go to E3.
I know.
And miss it.
I'm like, I get to play it on Saturday
And
morning.
miss the whole thing. It's called the Legendary Hunt. It's cool, though. At least it shows they're thinking about some limited time kind of
Mm-hmm.
exciting event type stuff. That's going to have a thing they're calling Elite Queue. This is the Legendary Hunt, the 2-week event, not the Season 2 stuff. That's for like basically players in top 5 can place into the Elite Queue, but then you have to keep placing in the top 5 in subsequent matches to stay in it.
Oh.
You're going to be able to earn kind of unique skins and stuff like that.
I'm interested to see if that does anything to like the meta, of like, oh, I'm in Elite Queue. I'm not going to just drop at the hot spot because it's way easier to like drop in this
Worm your way into
corner.
the top 5.
And like, yeah, but also it'd be kind of fun to like just fight against other really good players in the hot zone. Like I
Yeah.
could see it working both ways. That's cool.
I bet there'll be some people that'll just try to scum their way into top 5.
Oh, sure.
Be very.
They're doing double XP this weekend.
Yep.
Which is a bummer for me because, like I said, we're traveling.
For both your player level and battle pass,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
Specifically, it's a bummer because they're putting out 2 more. What tier of skins are these?
Legendary.
Is Legendary the highest?
Yes.
They're putting out a. Let's see, which gun?
You
is
can
it?
tell because they put it in bold.
Oh.
301. They're putting out a Legendary 301 skin that looks kind of cool, and
Best
also
gun in the game too.
and also a Legendary Wraith skin that looks. She's got a lot of bones and teeth on her.
That's Halloween.
But you need to be level. So everybody gets that R301 skin if you have the battle pass at all. But you have to be level 15 on the battle pass to get the Wraith skin, which I don't think I have a chance in hell of hitting.
You could always buy the levels.
Shit. Guess I could. I don't know. That skin's not that great.
I'm not much of a Wraith player anyway.
Yeah.
So
I'm not much of an Apex player lately,
Yeah.
but maybe Season 2 will bring me back because there's a lot of stuff in it.
The season 2 stuff sounded really appealing to
It
me.
sounds better.
The number one thing, this was maybe the most common piece of feedback I ever saw, was them adding more crafting materials to
Yeah.
the timeline.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
they
they-
say it's enough to give you a legendary
Yeah.
if you get them all.
Yeah, it says you'll be able to make a legendary.
That's a lot. That's a lot of crafting.
But does that mean you have to hit max level on the new battle pass?
that's what they're
Yes.
implying. Yeah.
Okay. But they say, I mean, I'll just rattle these off. Time to battle pass level 100 should be significantly reduced. This is for the Season 2 one. Level up via daily and weekly challenges.
That's big too.
Didn't it? I thought it had something like
had
that already.
character
there was just-
specific,
that was
but it
literally
was
just
just
play as a character.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not. That's not. And their credit, they go into a fair amount of detail on some of this stuff. While we don't want to introduce wacky challenges that drastically warp the way you play the game, these challenges should provide some interesting variation from game to game. They also say that if you miss weekly challenges, they will stack up and you can still come back and do them later.
Oh, cool. I missed
Which is
that.
fantastic. 3 additional legendary skins added to the rewards track. 3 entirely, this seems like maybe the actual biggest thing. 3 entirely new content categories replace badge and stat tracker rewards.
Yeah.
So they're taking those out. No
Well, they're
more-
taking them off the premium track anyway.
So they're, yeah. We removed badges and basic stat trackers completely from the premium Battle Pass rewards for Season 2. You'll still get a seasonal badge, but it'll be a single evolving badge that won't take up any additional reward slots.
Okay.
We've kept seasonal win trackers in the free path, and they will all be earnable in the first 10 levels.
That's cool.
And then, you'll also be able to earn items from 3 new content categories in place of badges and trackers. We'll be revealing details about these categories closer to the launch of Season 2.
Hats.
Ooh.
Big hats, big floppy, poofy hats, like a
Big
Russian
fucking
cap.
Jamiroquai ass hat.
Yeah,
they don't
Pharrell hat.
They don't have like an accessory slot, right? It's just full skins.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems like a no-brainer, right?
I'd assume this would be like the trail behind you when you're diving,
Okay.
or some kind of thing like
Yeah.
that. Call of Duty. We played a little Call of Duty on UPF, and I messed with it a little bit. Some Black Ops, and they had a category that I had not seen a game do before, which was like death animation. Like when you kill someone, like stuff will pop, fireworks pop out of them or whatever.
Yeah.
So that'd be a potential category.
That's cool.
Um,
They already have those cool instant kill animations.
Oh, right,
So I
yeah,
think
yeah.
like an additional thing to that would be cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Stuff sounds promising. And I think, they will be at EA Play with some stuff, I believe.
Yeah. I think that's what they said. They're going to be talking more about Season 2.
Yes.
I
10 a.m. Saturday, they will have.
I'm hoping
Season 2
for
stuff.
some like gameplay stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like
And I think
the
they've-
cosmetic
they've
talk is
said-
fun, but like I would like to see some.
I think they said with every new season, there will
Yeah.
be a balance change. So maybe they'll talk about that stuff on the
Right.
EA Play.
I mean, I would like to hear more about like new modes
Right.
or a new map or like the bigger stuff they have planned.
Changes to the map, I think, is
Yeah.
where we're headed next.
Even if it's not imminent, I'd like to hear what they've got in mind.
They're going to blow a bone down.
Can't blow a bone down.
The Bone Zone is
Skull City.
Ribcage Court.
Skullsburg.
Um,
Oh, you mean Femur Forest?
Elvis Palace.
God, I'm trying to think of something. Tibia Town.
Yeah!
I'm sad that Jan is not here for this Pokemon nonsense.
Mandible Mountain.
Because what the fuck is Pokemon Sleep?
It's Wake Up Club with Pokemon slapped
Pokemon
onto
go
it.
to your bed.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Wake Up Club was dope.
It's not even a video game, but I just like Pokemon Sleep. What?
And it's funny because this is right off the heels of Nintendo announcing we're not doing
Yeah.
the sleep stuff anymore.
Maybe they realized that if they presented this as an actual medical thing, they had to go through way more regulations. So they had to be like, we're not in that business anymore. Anyway, fucking sleep.
Take it away, Game Freak.
Yeah.
Any idea what does this tie into? Like, there's no.
It's just like
Is,
a new.
is it an app? Is it a phone
I
thing?
think it's an app.
Are you gonna buy a thing that you
Or
bolt?
a full
Or an
sleep,
app.
whatever you want to do.
Are you gonna bolt something onto yourself when you sleep?
No, it probably is just like an alarm. Well, I don't know. If
put
it's
your
like Wake
head
Up
into
Club,
a
it's just a fancy
coughing-
alarm. It's just like you say, hey, wake me up at 7 o'clock.
Hmm.
And it does so, but then there's a Pokemon.
Sure.
That's Wake Up Club
Yeah.
for the Vita,
I mean, this.
which I recommend.
I think didn't this imply that like sleeping and waking up will tie into training Pokemon? Or
I think
something?
while you're asleep, they will train.
Maybe you can link your Pokemon Go.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh,
Maybe you
boy.
can bring in a Pokemon to the sleep chamber.
I'm gonna bring Snorlax.
Yay, double XP
Uh,
for sleepy Pokemon.
they also said there will be a new Detective Pikachu for Switch,
Yeah,
which reminded me that there was ever a Detective Pikachu game.
Yeah.
which I
yeah.
had forgotten.
It's what they based a large portion of that movie off of.
What was that game?
It was
like an
a
adventure game.
It was like an adventure game. Like solve these puzzles, figure out
Okay.
what happened here by
Oh, okay.
clicking on stuff.
Interesting. Anyway, they'll be making a new one of those for Switch. That was the video game portion of what they announced. Pokemon Sleep.
Oh boy.
I'm getting tired just thinking about it.
All right. Lastly, the Shang Tsung trailer is pretty good.
Oh, it's so good.
That was
Yeah,
pretty
it
good.
is.
It's pretty good.
I think it's a top tier character release
I
trailer.
think it was, yes. I went back and watched the first 5 minutes of the Mortal Kombat film
Oh, wow.
over the weekend
Oh,
and
it's
was
so good.
reminded that he
How did
actually
you not get roped into the rest of it at that
saving
point?
it.
Okay.
I'm saving it for special occasion.
Naked
But I
time.
was reminded that he says your brother's soul is mine, not yours. Maybe he also says your
well,
soul
yeah.
is
There's
mine.
another part, but it's foreshadowing.
Okay. Also, I was reminded that "You Fool" is another one because that
Oh,
pops
yeah.
up in the MK11 trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like he shouts that during matches.
Oh, it's so good. They really made a good call at getting him.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's
It is
Like of all the, I would not reference much from those movies or from the external Mortal Kombat things outside of the games. Like that's maybe it.
Yeah, there's that. Well, and then there's the commercial where they yell more.
No, like that's the thing. I would not take any of that either, or the song, any of that shit.
Oh, but the song is so good. The song is good because they let you know everyone who's there.
That's a good point.
Johnny Cage.
Yeah.
I think
There are updated versions of that people have tried to make over the years, and it's
The Terminator.
yeah.
I think having him morph into a bunch of the ninjas that aren't in the game is a cool way to get around the.
Yeah.
You know, they obviously can't do the morph into any character thing anymore.
It made that Ed
But-
Boon Rain teaser thing
yes.
make a lot of sense.
That made a lot more sense.
If we get nothing out of this fucking like PS5 fucking super fast load
Man,
time shit,
functional Shang
can
Tsung
we get
again?
a functional Shang Tsung
Oh,
back?
Man,
But that's the thing. They kind of realized that just a character that can turn into other characters is a weird, not appealing gimmick. Like it's a
You're
cool,
probably
it's a
right,
cool gimmick.
but
Like this is like, okay, his moves are him turning into one of the ninja and doing the thing, or he can turn into the other opponent. I feel like it's a good distillation of his character.
Well, I guess like my question though is like how much of that is like, hey, this is what we want to do from a gameplay perspective, and how much of it is the reality of just like, well, we can't fit all this shit in memory. So over the years, I mean, ever
I feel like
since
it's one B leads to A.
ever since games started coming on CDs, Shang Tsung has never been the same.
true. It is absolutely true.
And I would love if we can use the power of the PlayStation fucking next fucking generation SSD to get us back to a point where Shang Tsung is Shang fucking Tsung.
Playing
Imagine
it,
if he could turn into any MK character, not even ones that are in the game.
Well,
Just like,
that's what they're
what's up,
doing, right? They're
Borracho?
doing like, I would love to see like a mix of like, here are characters that are straight up not in the game or in the story mode, but not full fighters.
Yeah.
/ ninjas that are not in the game, but also here's everybody that's playable too. Why not? Just, make it a variant. You choose whether you want.
buying MK3 on my brand new PlayStation and then playing Shang Tsung was a real deflating moment.
Didn't it like pause
yeah.
before
Yeah.
like at every transformation?
It just hitched while
a
it
little
loaded the character off.
Unless you morphed. Well, it was like that was the thing. I
you
think you
morphed
could
into the
even
character
set
you were
in the
playing,
menu. You could set
yes.
it to where he could only
Only do-
morph into
yeah.
the other character.
Yeah.
And then it would be immediate.
That's a little foreshadowing to an upcoming email, Brad.
Oh boy, I don't know what that is this week. It's exciting. Let's see. They announced most of the rest of the roster, but we've gotten data leaks that we can infer from.
So yeah, they announced
Nightwolf.
They confirmed the leaks, basically.
Yeah.
Like,
The-
that was people
the
pulling
audio-
music cues.
the audio
people
cues at
pulled
the
apart
end.
the Switch version.
Yeah. But the ones they did announce are Nightwolf, Sindel, and Spawn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like kind of a weird pull.
Spawn's a fighting game character.
No, sure. Yes. Not unprecedented. I just more like I haven't heard people talk about Spawn in a long time.
Since
Yeah.
Soul Calibur, 3?
Yeah.
Right. I just don't feel like Spawn is like
Isn't there a new
Current?
Spawn?
Maybe
Is there
so.
a new Spawn?
Mm.
if there's new Spawn stuff to oh shit. Keith David is voicing Spawn.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, sure. All right. Back in. Now I'm fine with Spawn.
But what if they just got fucking Keith David?
As a character?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you really want to see Keith David get fatality'd? I don't.
I wouldn't lose.
I don't. Okay. All right. What if you make it so he's just immune to fatalities?
And then they played like the Terminator stinger, and there was a chainsaw sound.
Terminator and Ash from Evil Dead were the other two that got leaked, and those seem to be accurate. I don't know. I think I'm happier with this mishmash than like straight horror character lineup.
I missed that. For
Well,
sure,
that was cool too. But
But they did, like where else? Well, whatever. I guess there's always more. But
this is a little more wide ranging, I guess.
I guess I would say, and this is my feelings here. Ash and Spawn are so beneath Mortal Kombat.
Oh, Ash
I don't know
is-
if I'd say
Ash
that.
is fine.
Ash is fine.
Ash is
like
like-
the
Ash is a really
Terminator.
popular,
Okay, yeah,
like cult figure.
Yeah.
like cult figure,
Yeah.
but not like the Terminator.
No.
I agree.
Or
Which I'm
Jason,
fine with. I don't
or
need-
Freddy.
I kind of don't like A-list weirdos in my fighting.
I don't like
games.
guest characters. Period. Like, but I think if you're gonna do it, get me characters that make me think like, oh, well, that's cool that you got this in your Mortal Kombat game. Not characters that go like, yeah, like You could get these characters in any fucking video game because who gives a shit?
I think if
I could show up to fucking Todd McFarlane's house right now with $8 and a cheeseburger and be like, yeah, put Spawn in. We don't give a shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I think like Ash is a weird, it's a weird poll because it's such a, it's like Jason says, he's a cult classic. He's not really like in pop culture too often. You aren't thinking about Ash all the time, but he makes sense because he's like out there fighting demons and shit.
And like aliens and shit. He's all over the place, and he just had a show pretty recently.
Yeah.
Also, Bruce Campbell tweeted about this news over the weekend, so you can pretty
Bruce
much
Campbell rules.
assume that it's happening. Do they give him the chainsaw? Because this is not a weapons fighter. I mean, maybe I'm splitting. hairs.
Yeah, you can,
yeah.
yeah. Kotal
Absolutely.
Khan has a sword.
Okay,
like, you
sure.
can-
Okay.
Jason had his machete.
Do you think that he just plays kind of like Lobo from Injustice?
Maybe. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not afraid to use other movesets from other games for sure.
If it was up to me, I probably would have had another 3 classic MK characters instead of these guests.
Yeah, I think that's my thing. Is like
because there's so many that aren't in here.
like I've said before, like I care way more about Mortal Kombat characters than any of this other shit.
Yeah.
Like
I would. I'm trying to think. Like I would have loved to see a Cyborg Ninja finally make it back onto the roster.
well, they did. That was DLC in X.
Oh, I guess so. Is there precedent for there being more characters after this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There was a
that-
second combat
Okay.
pack for the last couple of games. They did multiple seasons.
Okay. So if this isn't it, then that's fine. Maybe they'll do something.
And I thought the way they handled the cyborgs in X was like interesting, but like kind of disappointing in a way of like the Triborg stuff of like you pick the variant to get the different moves. Like it always felt like I'd rather have like distinct characters,
singular
and-
characters.
Yeah, felt a little cheap. As a Cyrax and Sector fan,
I saw somebody point out that Sindel's going to have a lot of really good opening banter with other characters since she killed so many
Oh yeah.
characters.
that's true. Yeah,
What happened to her? She became a revenant, right?
yeah.
I think.
She died in 9 with everybody else,
Yeah.
right? Or
I think yes. I believe that's right. Yeah. Decent lineup.
Nightwolf is fun.
Yeah.
Never really played.
Yeah, that's a good
He
one.
was the first character I got played in MK9. Maybe really only one I tried to learn.
And then Shang Tsung is coming out. Where's the date? I lost it. It's soon, right?
Yeah, I think it's
June 18th.
June, yeah.
Okay.
So it's the week after E3.
In time for Evo.
That's exciting.
They've had an issue with kind of broken DLC characters. I
Yeah.
remember Freddy, Alien
Oh,
being particularly
Alien. Yep.
rough. So
Oh, the one thing I was going to say is I'm excited to see them like model the innards of the Terminator and see how the fatalities work.
oh
yeah.
Like, that is going to be cool.
Huh.
See how they deal with all the endoskeleton stuff
Mhm.
Oh man.
in the
Shang
animation.
Tsung's like what the 2 shoulder button combo where he cycles through all the cyborg ninja
Oh,
or all
right.
the ninja
Yeah.
moves is really fucking cool.
Wait, what is that?
His like the move he does in the trailer.
Oh, his fatal blow.
Fatal blow,
Yes,
that's
he
what
turns,
it's called.
turns into a bunch of the ninjas for that. That's cool. Also, that Kentaro fatality,
Yeah.
It's real good.
Oh,
pretty
it's so
good. Pretty good. All right, that was a stack of news.
Woo.
Let's hope nothing else happens between now and E3, right? Haha.
No more leaks.
Yeah.
Even between now and our next segment.
Yeah.
Entirely
I'm
possible.
gonna pick up my phone and take a look at it.
Should probably do a check during the break, so let's go take a break and see what else happened. We'll be right back.
Support for today's show comes to you in part from new Starbucks Triple Shot Energy.
Starbucks?
That's right.
Triple shot?
Uh-huh.
Energy?
Energy. Starbucks, you know,
Yeah. Coffee people.
the coffee people.
Yes.
The Starbucks people. They
got-
have all kinds of stuff.
They got that logo.
Uh-huh.
They put it on their cups.
It's extremely popular.
Yeah.
But now you can get it, triple shot energy form. The Starbucks Triple Shot Energy has 225 milligrams of caffeine from Starbucks coffee.
In an aluminum container?
Yes,
Wow.
absolutely, a can.
That's made for travel.
You pop open the top and it's right there.
That'll
ready
go
to
with you.
That's right. You can take it to
It's
go.
it's like an artillery shell of energy.
That's right. It's got a hint of flavor and it's enhanced with guarana, B vitamins, and ginseng.
Those sound exotic.
Yeah, well, now you can enjoy those exotic ingredients right in the palm of your hand if you palm a can. I don't know
Okay.
if you like to palm a can. I don't, but some people look, I don't want to cast dispersions one way or the other.
Should you shove the can into your face? Is that what you're saying? You're trying to eat the can?
I do not eat. I'm going to say don't eat the can.
What if you're a goat?
If you're a goat, goats probably have a lot of energy out of the gate. I don't know. That's they might not need all that. But, hey, if you need a little energy, sometimes it's just more you want to do, right? You want to get things going.
Yep.
You want to make something happen.
You want to move.
That's right. You want to blast off. You have things you got to do.
Yep.
The games you got to play. You want to get out of work. You want to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Why not Starbucks Triple Shot Energy?
Why not Starbucks Triple Shot Energy?
Exactly. It comes in 3 delicious flavors, including French vanilla, cafe mocha, and caramel.
Oh.
And guess what?
What?
You can find it in your local grocery or convenience store.
Those things are everywhere.
That's right. They're all over the place. It's that time again.
What time?
Time to talk about Squarespace.
Oh, great. It's my favorite time. My favorite time of the week.
It's time to turn those dreams into realities with
I
Squarespace.
don't know if I have any dreams right now.
Well,
They're mostly the other kind.
Well, look, you can turn whatever you got into Squarespace. Squarespace is that flexible. They make it easier than ever to launch your passion project. Whatever you're trying to do. You're trying to start a new business, showcase some work, you're trying to sell some stuff,
Maybe.
publish some content.
Okay.
Hey,
Yeah.
Squarespace is the tool for you.
It's gonna put a webpage together to tell people how to log into my Quake servers.
Exactly.
That's what I'm gonna do.
That's exactly. You need to get that information out there. Squarespace has beautiful templates to make that information palatable.
I'm gonna make that website and I'm gonna put it on a web ring.
There you go. Get to sign the guest book. Yeah, it's created by world-class designers, these templates, and you can customize just about anything with a few clicks and easily make a beautiful website all by yourself. And if you want to sell some stuff, they got that e-commerce functionality.
I have an old Quake 2 hat.
Okay.
Maybe.
Are you looking to move it?
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, if
I don't think it's ever been washed.
Okay. So
So-
does that make it worth more or less?
Probably less.
Okay. All right. Well,
I don't know. You tell me.
if you decide to sell it online, Squarespace's powerful e-commerce functionality is right there with analytics that'll help you grow your site in real time.
It's over 20 years old now, so I guess that's vintage.
Vintage. Yeah.
Oh,
you would call that vintage.
Man.
And everything's optimized for mobile. So if you're not on a vintage mobile device,
They didn't even have mobile back. Well, they kind of did.
they kind of did. I don't know. You can do something. But
I knew somebody with a car phone back then.
whoa.
A bag phone.
Oh yeah.
It was in a bag that went in a car.
Check out this bag.
And then you put a magnetic antenna on top of your car.
Now that's ballin'. There's nothing to patch or upgrade ever with Squarespace. It's all they maintain all that stuff, so you can just focus on selling that sweet stuff, publishing that sweet content, whatever you got.
Like classic car phones.
Yeah, like if you have a collection of classic car phones and you're looking to move them or just show pictures of them,
Yeah.
they can do all that stuff.
Yeah.
And you can register a domain. Buying domains is simple, and you'll get the help you need with Squarespace's 24/7 award-winning customer support.
Do they have .phone yet?
I don't know if there's a .phone.
Can I get car.phone?
That's probably taken. If anyone can take it, that's probably one of the first ones to go.
Yeah, probably.
Squarespace empowers millions of people from all walks of life, designing, lawyering, artisting, restaurants, gyms, restauranting.
The internet is for everyone.
That's right. Everyone is on the internet, and you can be too with
finally.
Squarespace. Head over to squarespace.com/bombcast for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use the offer code BOMBCAST to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. That's squarespace.com/bombcast. And the offer code, it's BOMBCAST.
We saved the most important news for last.
Always.
We had to get up and
Xbox soap, baby.
We have to
Let's
get up
go.
and
Hints of
stretch our legs.
patchouli,
Is there-
kaffir lime.
Is there soap?
It's
thought it was
just
just
body
it's a
wash.
line of four.
deodorant. Body
It's-
wash?
It's like a full line.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw the deodorant. I didn't know there was body wash.
Yeah, I think there's just like soap, shampoo, body wash.
Is
and
this Axe?
It's Lynx,
Lynx?
which is some Australia. I don't know. It's only going to go on sale in Australia and New Zealand, apparently.
Xbox? You can finally figure out what the essence of Xbox smells like.
It's like an inhale, but what does that inhale smell like?
Melted glue.
Yeah.
Very aromatic.
Mm-hmm. Turns out, when they got to like patchouli, I was like, oh no, what? No.
Wait, they
no.
actually say
Sandalwood
patchouli?
and patchouli.
What?
Go, yeah.
Julie is in.
Dig the story up and read their description
Yeah.
of the whole scent because
Trying to
it's
find it.
There's top notes, mid notes, and under
Yeah.
notes. The under notes is where patchouli and
Right.
underwood. The top notes were kaffir lime and something lemon. I think like a lemon lime.
yeah.
Which makes sense. It's green.
Yeah, it's video games, so a Mountain Dew like scent makes some amount of sense.
Makes gamers go wild.
Yeah, I smeared Mountain Dew on my chest every day anyway, so.
That's what I call code red.
Mm-hmm.
That was not the most important news.
No, that is.
No, that's
okay.
it.
That's literally, that's
That's
literally
definitely-
what we're here to talk about. And it's out in July.
Trying to find.
It's on GameSpot.com.
No, I'm trying to find their website. I'm trying to find if,
what
like,
Links
Links
is. Yeah, I
Links
don't know.
has a website.
Well, it's a web browser.
A cat.
It's a popular portable game console.
Popular, yeah.
It's up there with the 3DS.
Body
Look, I
wash.
like the links.
All 40 minutes of it that you could play.
Here it is.
I always plugged it in. I never took it anywhere.
Linksformen.com.
Finally, deodorant for men.
I knew they must have a website.
Yeah. It's 2019. They
Here's
must have a...
the first product tagline on the website is "You're hotter when you chill." I'm sorry, you're hotter when you're chill.
Damn, it's true. I do give off better vibes when I'm chilling. If I'm like mad,
Mm-hmm.
having a heated gaming moment, I don't look hot.
Yeah, no, that's not
It's
a good
never
look.
a good look.
Yeah.
Here is a style story about the modern quiff. What is that?
Whoa, what?
That's what this says.
I just said we were trying to avoid heated
Yeah.
gaming moments, Brad.
Jesus.
I don't know what that means.
Must be a hair thing.
Quaff,
Probably, maybe.
but quiff.
It's
Maybe.
a quicker quaff.
Yeah, quick quaff.
All right, I should stop looking at this website.
Yeah.
They don't have the Xbox stuff up yet, though.
That's because it's not out until July.
Sadly, yeah, I guess that's coming later.
Pre-order now. Get an exclusive shave
It
kit.
it should be like get Game Pass. I don't know.
Get a month of Game Pass for $1.
Yeah.
I understand embargoes have lifted.
Yeah, for some stuff. Yeah.
Judges Week
Mhm.
for a handful of things.
Yeah, we've talked a little bit about it in a couple of places, but
Yeah.
they went ahead and announced Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Yes, they did.
Remastered?
Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Which you saw.
Which I
in
saw.
LA. So, did anything about this announcement move up?
Nope.
Because there were a little bit of stuff got out on
Yeah,
on
some
YouTube.
stuff leaked and,
Okay.
and all that stuff, but this was always the plan.
Okay.
As far as I can tell.
Okay. Because like the leak happened, I think the leak happened one day, and
I
then the
signed
trailer,
a thing
okay.
saying talk about it on the
Okay.
30th.
And then the trailer came out the
yeah.
next day, and I was
Yeah.
like, whoa, did they move stuff up
No.
because some stuff got out?
No.
Okay.
So I went to the Infinity Ward office and watched.
it was there.
Yeah,
Huh.
and watched a presentation about the campaign, and a lot of the stuff they're doing to the engine, and so they're reboot. If people haven't heard anything at all about it, they are rebooting Modern Warfare.
Okay.
Which is why it is not Modern Warfare 4, which is why it's not Call of Duty 12
This is a-
Modern Warfare.
This is a
you know.
hard reboot. Previous games did not take place in this
yeah,
timeline?
yes.
Okay.
And I think they have a pretty good. I think their pitch is mostly pretty good for this. They've got some ideas and it looks interesting. But the thing they said, which I think I agree with, is their goal is to try to tell okay, Modern Warfare came out in 2007. The concept of what modern warfare is in 2019 is somewhat different than that. And when you think about over the course of those 3 Modern Warfare games, like how many nukes went off and weird fucking
Right.
slow motion knife fights on bridges.
They were in space eventually, kind of.
Well, yeah. That
Or was that Black Ops?
That was Ghosts. Had a space
Ghosts.
thing, and then Ghosts, right?
Yeah.
So they want to wipe the slate clean on that. So Price is in it, and at the end of that trailer, there's a bit of an implication that maybe more characters will return,
Okay.
but it is not set. It is a reboot. It is not necessarily even the same. If we get the Warfare Historia, we can determine when the timelines converge with all the prices.
Yes.
Um,
Price, the guy with the big
is
mustache.
yes.
Okay. Was he alive at the end of 3?
I don't
Or had they
think
killed him
anyone
off?
was. I think
Okay.
maybe like he is enjoying a smoke of some kind at the end of 3
Okay.
after the bad guy getting the shit stabbed out of him or something. It
Sure.
honestly,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm trying to think who other characters even are.
Soap.
Besides Soap, are there any other memorable?
Ghost, which
Okay.
was, I yeah, they did comic books based on Ghost at some point. And then through the course of Modern Warfare, like more characters were introduced for sure. Soap is the big one I remember because you played as Soap.
Yes.
So they showed us a couple of gameplay sequences but really talked a lot about the engine changes they're making and a lot about the tone. They got a couple of guys that worked at Naughty Dog heading up the story, and a handful of people that worked at Respawn but also worked at Infinity Ward before have come back to Infinity Ward to be leads in various aspects of the project and stuff. And I think it's interesting. They want to do something that's like gritty and grounded and fucking rooted and modern and all that other shit. And when you think about what modern conflicts look like, they're just a fucking mess compared to what you think of as war. Even by 2007, by the time they were telling that story, it was a pretty different thing than all these fucking World War II games they had been making prior to that. But this is them trying to tell a story about terrorism. It is them you're gonna play as, like, they're just calling them tier 1 operators. I guess that's just what they're called. Whenever anyone says tier 1 operator, I think of that fucking awful Medal of Honor game EA did, because their entirety of their marketing was based around the idea of a tier 1 operator. Beards, earn your beard, all that bullshit. But I guess it's a real thing.
Oh yeah,
And you'll split your time between them and like a rebel faction. So the idea is like, you would always change playable characters.
Wait, yeah, but are
in a lot of
you
Call of
saying
Duty
you're
games.
playing both sides of the conflict?
No.
Oh.
Not necessarily. It's, hey, war is messy. These
Are
rebels
you
are on
saying,
your side.
Are you saying,
It's-
okay,
yeah.
you're in a territory where you were aligned with
That's
a rebel
That's
faction.
my understanding.
Okay.
But they showed us that, but I could be wrong. They showed us pretty removed, disjointed bits of the game. And so, Piccadilly Circus in London gets bombed, and then the mission they showed was you figure out who did it and go to the house to get them. And so it's this, night vision. That's why they keep harping on this whole, like, go dark shit for all the marketing. And that's because, like, night vision plays a big role, which, it has over the course of Modern Warfare. And so they show it's all this night vision footage of you and your squad kind of stacking up on doors and working your way up the stairs of a house and clearing rooms, and just the kind of muffled screams of people getting they know you're coming, and they're like trying to set a trap, try to figure out what the fuck to do in a hurry. So you just hear like muffled men and women arguing and all this other stuff, and then you have to either peek the door open or fucking bash it in, and and whatever you do from there. And so they're trying to pull at those strings of just like, hey, these people aren't wearing uniforms. You don't necessarily know who's who in there, and they. The night vision stuff, like, and I guess I should say, some of the engine work that they've done really ties into their ability to tell these types of stories effectively, because they've been able to make places look more real. You think about doorways in shooters, generally they're huge,
Right?
because AI has to get through them. That was the reason they cited, was that AI has to get through these doors, so they make them huge. But also players get stuck on edges and corners all the fucking time in games. And so they said, hey, we've done a lot of work to not only make things look more realistic from just hey, make this house look more real, all this sort of stuff, but also improving the AI so they don't get hung up on shit like that, to where the scale of the house looks way more real, and it looks less like a video game level, and
Maybe a little more claustrophobic.
Yeah, claustrophobic, tighter, and also with that night vision filter over the top of it, that kind of obfuscates the computer graphics of it one step further, to where it starts to look pretty fucked up. And that's kind of what they're going for, in a sense, of just like, hey, they want it to be gritty.
Right.
And so you get to the top of that thing and you shoot a woman who's going for something, and you don't know if she was what she was going for. Is she a good guy, bad guy, whatever? She's going for a detonator. Everything's good. Yay. The military wins again. And all that sort of stuff. But like, that's the sort of thing they want to pull on, I think, is the, who's the good guy, who's the bad guy, like in this kind of modern, hey, everyone you're aiming a gun at might not be a bad guy, all this other, like, that sort of stuff. I'm not saying like, they're not going to tell the story of the tier 1 operators as the bad guys. That is not what I'm getting at. The other
about, go ahead. Children.
No. Yeah, so the other sequence is you were playing as kids, or you're playing as a kid,
A child soldier?
No, so it's a
Or-
flashback. So
Okay.
this was described to us as setting up the backstory for the brother and sister leaders of the rebels.
Okay.
And so it's a flashback to the 90s of Russians taking over their town. And so you're this little girl, and
Did they say where
bombs
this
are
is
just
set?
going off. They did not get specific. Or if they did, I missed it. It could be very well that they listed a country in the little start of mission readout thing that I just didn't write down. But so the Russian military's coming in and bombing the shit out of this town and looking for people that are helping the rebels and all this sort of stuff. So it's a sequence where your father grabs you, and so you're seeing this through the eyes of this little girl, and so the father grabs you and is like running to get you to safety, or running to get you back to the house where your brother is probably still holed up because he's trying to get everybody out of there. When you get there, there's a Russian soldier who kills him in front of you, and then it becomes a weird boss fight. So it's this weird mix of this stuff is like the imagery is powerful. Like could it be corny? Absolutely. But I think that they're at least trying to do some heady stuff, and I don't think they're necessarily pushing buttons for pushing buttons' sake. At least not in the sequences I saw. Some of it could play as corny in the final game. I don't know how it'll go, but it seems like they're at least onto something.
It's not like we got to one up no Russian.
Exactly. No. I've seen a lot of people saying it's just going to be a no Russian the video game, and it's super fucking not that.
No.
At
You
least
can achieve the same kind of feelings that something like that would make you have as a player, but in a
Potentially,
way
yeah.
that is both, it sounds like, more interactive and more grounded in reality.
Yeah, in our current reality,
And a smaller scale.
Yeah,
makes it
exactly.
more
a
impactful.
more human story
Yeah.
seems to be what they're going for here. But also
The prestige TV approach.
Yeah, we only saw these two sequences, so I can't really speak for the whole game. But based on everything they said about the story they want to tell, and based on this stuff, I think the people that are trying to paint this as a full game of no Russian moments, it's super not that. And also, I think some of the video gamey stuff gets a little hokey, because this sequence then turns into a boss fight of you as this little girl against a Russian soldier, and it's a stealth sequence where you have to kind of crawl around, get a screwdriver, and stab him with it 3 times to win the boss fight, and take this guy out. And it's a lot of cutscene interwoven in there,
Quick time event type stuff.
not even that per se. It is just when you stab him, there are animations that play out.
He flips out and
Exactly,
throws you off of him or
Totally.
something.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly that. And then it becomes every Call of Duty stealth sequence where your brother is crawling ahead of you, telling you what to do, and you're doing it. Of everything all the way back to Call of Duty 4 of fucking crawling through, wearing the ghillie suits and doing all that stuff. It's
Is
just
there a-
that.
Is there a follow icon?
There was not, but maybe if you got far enough away, that would appear. I don't know.
Is he maybe talking way too loud?
He's also
for-
talking way too loud for
Yeah.
a stealth sequence,
Yeah.
and then that leads up to you having to stealth your way in to get a gun, and then you as this little girl. That's where they ended the demo, or where they ended. They were playing. We didn't play any of this stuff. I think that it speaks to the quality of their engine upgrades that this stuff works, because those are sequences that a lot of that stuff has appeared in previous Call of Duty games, and in different different developers have tried to do that over the years, like this sort of thing. But they walked us through kind of the layout of the tech and some of the stuff they're doing to sound and the graphics and just animation, and some of it was very little stuff, but some of it was very meaningful. Their audio, I think, is on par with everyone always looked at Battlefield as having tremendous audio for just gunfire and all that sort of stuff. I think they've at least matched that, if not surpassed it in some ways. They're doing stuff the weapon's going to sound different if you're close to they walked around the Piccadilly Circus area and just shot the gun a bunch. And, it's if I'm over next to this bus, it sounds different than if I'm standing in the open, or if I'm shooting down into a subway, all those, doing all the realistic reverb. And, it sounds like they're trying to ray trace audio to make some of that stuff work.
Which is something they've talked about for the PS5 being a core feature.
Yeah.
So that sounds cool.
And I guess the upshot of that, not to just walk through their full fucking demo, but the upshot of that is that it makes it all feel more fucked up. Having the you know, hey, this is super claustrophobic. Like the night vision sequence almost reminded me a little bit of Siege. Not in gameplay, but in terms of just like the tone of just like, hey, we are in this house. This is a fucking house. You know, those kind of claustrophobic moments and just the gun audio and the way stuff sounds muffled through doors and vice versa, like all that sort of stuff. It all comes together in a way that kind of serves that's kind of stated purpose of just like wanting it to feel more fucked up. And then whether you, the player, go on to question your actions, it's like, man, this is fucked up. That's probably where they leave it to the player to decide, I'm sure. But yeah, it's the tech upgrades and stuff is stuff that they've needed to do for a long time. I think the engine has gotten really long in the tooth. There's just a look to those games over the years, and maybe it'll play the same. You know,
Probably still a fair amount of Quake 3 code in there.
Probably for netcode for online. Who knows? I don't know. But you know, they didn't really get too into. You know, we focused on the campaign.
Yeah.
So at this point, and so. You know, it was an interesting presentation for sure, and hearing them walk through like what they were trying to accomplish was interesting. The presentation was a little rough around the edges, where they, you know, talked about how they wanted this to feel like this grounded, very gritty thing, and then they did the presentation for the gun audio, and it was like, yeah, we want the guns to feel like characters, and we want these characters to be badass, and you're like, makes sense for the people in charge of audio and gun animations to be a little more like, yeah, look at this shit.
It's kind of discordant with
yeah,
what just
totally
happened.
discordant with all of the like heavier feeling tonal stuff that they're going for in the story. So that was it. I mean, I don't know if that was funny, if nothing else. It was just like, okay, we are maybe the first people to see this presentation. They have not ironed it out for E3 yet. Right. So, you know, of course, take that stuff with a grain of salt, I guess. But yeah, it's. I think they have a right to be excited about the tech, though, because I think it looks really nice. They're using like photogrammetry, which, you know, I can't speak to exactly how that comes into play, but you know, the resultant effect is that it's a nicer looking, more realistic looking environment.
Shit looks real.
Shit looks more real.
Yeah.
And I came away with it. I came away from that demo pretty impressed.
Right.
With where they're going with it.
Yeah, like the name leaked out. Kind of
before
anything
I mean,
else.
if the name leaks out before anything else, like it's not going to make any sense, and it's the easiest thing in the world to make fun of, right?
It did not go over well when all people had to go on was a name.
Totally, but like the actual pitch, I think it makes a lot of sense why they would consider it a reboot, and all that shit. So yeah, I came out of that going like, wow, it's like they're finally doing the thing they've needed to do for like 5 years. Like they're finally like, it's just like tech debt or something. They're just like finally going like, okay, we're gonna actually take the time to really fucking clean this thing up, really uproot all these systems and put in new stuff, and then try to build a game around that. And I think it helps. It helps in ways you wouldn't immediately expect. Like the audio thing, you know, set apart from everything else, you're like, okay, well, yeah, whatever, the guns sound better. But like, actually, you know, if you take it in context with this storytelling and all this other stuff, that stuff can start to add up to like, yeah, firing a gun should feel fucked up.
Yeah.
At this point. And they have not gotten there with audio. And this year, it seems like that they will. For whatever that's worth. So yeah, I came away from that demo feeling very interested in seeing where they're going with that. Yeah.
Cool.
And I think the other thing I can talk about is Control.
Remedy game.
Yeah, Remedy game 505 is publishing that one. I really liked what I saw of it. I was not the biggest fan of Quantum Break, and I think you could maybe draw a couple of parallels well, whatever. Remedy makes third-person games where you shoot guns. So I guess maybe it's not just Quantum Break that you compare it to, but
and occasionally dive to the side.
Sure, I didn't see any side diving in this, but instead you can just fucking
fly,
telekinesis, pick up objects and fling them at guys.
That's pretty cool.
I think I saw flying. Maybe can you telekinesis yourself?
I think I saw flying too.
Yeah,
there's some footage out there. Like NVIDIA's been putting out some tech demo footage of that game, and like it looks cool.
So they I think up until this point they had been showing the game with all of the skills unlocked, but this time they were like, actually, these are the skills you'll have at this point in the game for realsies. So really all I had was the TK. which felt good. You hold down a button and it will pull an. Even if you're not looking at an object, you can look at a specific object and grab it. But it seems like if you just hit that button, it'll find something for you.
Something cool.
Yeah.
Huh.
And you can fling it at people to take them out. And the gun, if you remember, is this morphing crazy thing that so when you hit the change weapon button, the gun just kind of reforms into a shotgun style. It's still like a pistol held thing. It's still a one-armed, one-handed weapon, but it is firing a much wider spread.
Were there different ammo types that you could see?
No, it recharges.
Oh, okay.
So you kind of just, I think you can just kind of keep shooting.
That's cool.
But you've also got like a quest log, and you can pull up a map at any time, which is totally key. It seems like the sort of game where they want you to read the signs in the world to get around. Like I was running around this big facility and got lost.
Isn't the whole game set in that giant building?
I think
in that
so.
facility?
I think so.
Like, aren't you in some kind of like supernatural?
You're the director of
even
like you. I think my understanding is that you found yourself becoming like the director of this crazy of control. You know, this investigative unit.
It sounded like some almost X-Files-esque.
You've got the director's sidearm, like you know, you get to wield that weapon because you're somehow the director.
Some super duper top secret government thing,
and shit is gonna rise.
I think they described it as like kind of a Metroid style game.
Seems
like the whole game is in this.
Would make a lot
whole
of
game
sense
is in this one environment, but you have to go back and forth and get stuff to access different parts of the building.
That's the impression. That definitely could be how it plays out.
That sounds cool.
And you know, at any point you can pull up a map and it'll show you where you are, where you're facing, all that other stuff, and that's really key. What it doesn't do, and I've been thinking about this a lot lately, trying to decide if it should be in there or not. It did not put pips in the world like, hey, your currently tagged quest objective is in this direction.
Oh,
so it was really like pull up the map because it shows on the map. So you'd have to pull up the map, and it was very quick, like D-pad, like on-off type thing, not a problem. And so you would pull up the map and go like, okay, I need to be going in this direction, this direction. I got lost a couple times, got some doors I couldn't get open and all that stuff, trying to get where I was going. But I really like the look of it, and the dialogue sequences are good. Like I think the main character, she looks really great. And just animates really well. And on these kind of, you know, you get dialogue trees or whatever, you can kind of, you know, dig in however you want with some of these characters you meet, and you get this. So the conversations will take place. It'll go back and forth as you would expect, but occasionally it'll show like a close up of your character's face, and she will have like inner monologue. Right, but maybe like before she says something, she'll be like, I guess I should just tell this fucking guy the truth, and then proceed to, you know, that's not you making gameplay decisions. Maybe that'll come into play later, but I didn't see any of that. But it made the storytelling, I think, interesting because you got a little bit more insight into her thought process behind what she was saying.
It helps you identify with the character.
Totally,
more.
That sounds cool.
I thought that worked really well. But you're also getting like you're collecting items to equip. That'll be like, oh, plus 10% to this and minus that. There's like a crafting system in there somewhere in the menus. Like it's like those systems. I didn't get a chance to play with them a ton, but it just kind of seems like there's a little bit more going on there than just run through it and shoot things.
What'd you play it on?
I bet it was a PC.
Okay.
I used one of those Astro fancy PS4 controllers.
Yeah.
Which seemed nice, and there was a minute there where I was like, maybe I should get one of those, and then I saw that they require a dongle.
No.
And I'm out.
How does it stack up
most
to
PC stuff does. I mean,
well, it was. I mean, specifically, it's a PS4 controller.
You mean a dongle on the PS4?
Yeah.
Yeah. No thanks.
How does it stack up to the Elite?
It felt like sort of a version of that.
Okay. I've been thinking about getting the Elite 2, maybe.
Have they announced?
They announced it, but I don't think they're out.
I don't think they have announced anything.
I don't know if they've said anything. They should do an Elite 2, but
I mean, there have been rumors forever.
Okay, maybe I saw a rumor.
There've been rumors for like 2 years they were going to redesign.
But they never updated the Elite to even have like regular Bluetooth.
Yeah, it doesn't even.
Yeah, that's the problem with my Elite now is the USB port is fucked.
They have not.
Oh, yeah, that's bad.
They have not announced anything for new Elite stuff. The reason I asked about platform is that NVIDIA's been pushing that game pretty hard for ray tracing tech.
This was probably the PC version.
I was wondering if you saw any of that stuff or if they talked about it at all.
No, I didn't necessarily see.
There's some
lighting that looked out of control.
There's some footage in there that out of control. Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so some of that test footage they put out has looked pretty
Yeah, that stuff
impressive
looks cool.
to the point that I'm like, maybe I'd play that on a PC, except I don't have a card that does that.
Right.
But maybe, I don't know. That map and objective stuff sounds like it could be promising if they do it right, because like I know we talked about it earlier in the year, but that's what made that RE2 remake work for me.
Oh yeah,
Was
sure.
A map that was really fantastic about annotating itself and like not exactly guiding you where you need to go, but giving you enough information to figure it out.
Yeah.
Like that figuring out process is a lot of what made that game good.
I think some of that stuff, the map could maybe use a little more refinement, but it is easy to turn on and off in a way that like you're like, wait, where the fuck am I going? Like you can very easily do that.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the thing I went back and forth on is like, should there just be a pip in the world that says like, hey, this is the direction you're trying to run in?
Yeah.
And go that way with it. But I don't know.
I have high hopes for that game. I mean, at first blush, it almost just sort of sounds like a new PsyOps. It's just like, oh, here's a third-person shooter with telekinetic powers. Like that sounds like something they would make. But then when you add in the other stuff about it being one big facility and
I came away from
Metroid
it,
elements, that sounds more exciting.
I came away from it like going like this could be cool.
Yeah.
And I thought it looked good.
I'm looking forward to that game. Yeah, for sure. Before we get into emails, y'all got any games of the now?
Yeah, so real quick, I ended up beating Void Bastards, which I talked about last week. Any of you guys check that out?
Yeah, I played a little bit of it. I had a rude awakening with that game when I was on the ship where you were going to finish the ID card, like almost done with it, and then died. I was like, cool, I'll just get another inmate and go back to that ship and get the thing I need in 5 minutes. And I was like, oh, you have to restart the entire sequence of ships.
Yeah, but you at least keep the part of the ID card that you got.
And then like the weapons I had built up to that point, but like I hate to say that I have not played it since then. Like,
I got to the ID card in one run and then decided to stop after that and haven't really felt
compelled to go
I
back.
want to play
back,
more, but I think the personality, like the humor and the
Yeah,
writing
I
are
like
fantastic.
I like that stuff a lot.
Like- My favorite part is when you try to fly back to a previous ship on the menu, and the tooltip pops up, and it's that British robot just saying, "That's just not done, old bean." You can't go backwards. Like,
Yeah.
the humor is it's written well.
That
The
stuff
art,
is my favorite.
The art and the look of it are fantastic.
I was a little disappointed by the way it ends. It's just kind of like it just kind of ends. There's not really a big build up or anything.
So
which was kind of a bummer, but
I've seen people calling it a roguelite, but like, is there any way to fail? Like, I mean, if you play the game enough, you're just gonna finish it, right?
well, I mean, if you like can get to the ship that has the ID card and get the ID card and then whatever.
So that's
the
I guess that's
big
my
items
question.
are
Like,
after that.
like if you get the ID card and then you were to die before your next big object, you don't go back to the beginning of the entire game, right?
No, you're
start
just working on
after
the
the
next
ID
big
card. Right,
object.
okay.
Yeah. So I
So
mean,
you can
like,
you can kind of brute force your way through the game.
totally.
Okay.
I'm playing. I started a new run on the it's called like Bastard difficulty. I think it's the hardest one, and it's serious. It's like you have to play really smart and slow and careful. So I think I'm gonna just chip away at that. But had a lot of fun with that, and then I managed to get into and play some of the Grand Blue versus beta.
Grand Blue Fantasy.
Grand Blue
versus...
Fantasy versus
Yeah.
the newest Arxis developed, right? Or are they
Developed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Straight up the newest game from those Guilty Gear folks. And I had a really good time with it. It's weird. It's not like
It's a little bit slower, very neutral.
it is like so it makes it because if you're not familiar with the Grand Blue world, it's very like knights and dudes with swords and women with swords,
Fantasy RPG stuff. Yeah.
and it kind of feels like playing a sword fight. You are like you're spending most of the matches either trying to push someone in the corner or fight your way out of the corner through a series of like pokes and stuff. Like the craziest combo I saw was like 12 hits. Like it's not really like a huge kind of combo oriented game. Like you said, it's very neutral, heavy. Jumps are like really bad. Like you don't get a lot of horizontal distance and they're really easily punishable. So it's not like there's no air dashing compared to other like a Guilty Gear or a Blaze Blue. There are only 5 characters, but they all had a pretty good variety about
That's
them.
just for the beta, right? Or is
Yeah.
that
Just for the beta, yeah.
I think the full game's going to have some absurd number of characters. And the Grand Blue universe...
I was gonna say, do you have to like gotcha them out of a machine?
Yeah,
no,
is that
thankfully.
Is that a mobile franchise?
Yeah,
is
it
that
is.
where Grand Blue Fantasy is from?
It was
It is,
originally
yeah.
a visual novel,
Oh.
but yeah, it's most popular as like a gotcha phone game. I think it was the number 6 highest grossing app on iTunes or the App Store last year. Crazy
to
popular in
Gotta
Japan.
get used to not saying iTunes anymore.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So it's kind of cool, like simplified control scheme as well. So if
Yeah.
you're not used to doing like Dragon Punch motions or Fireball motions, you can hold R1 and hit a direction as well. And there's a timer on all of those
that's the
buttons
thing.
or all of those commands as well. So if you do the command itself, the timer ticks down a little bit faster.
Is
so
that
can
only
use
if you
it
do the
again.
auto version of it?
Yeah, essentially. It's no. So if you do the auto version, the timer ticks down, but a little bit slower than it normally
So
would.
even if you do the real command input,
I believe so.
is that like an active reload for a Dragon Punch?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, we saw that in games like Rising Thunder, where there were like cooldowns on powers. Even like when you're doing a super and stuff, you can do like a simplified motion. So it seems, pretty straightforward.
Also, it's gorgeous.
It is.
Like, it's
It's
one of the best looking fight. Like it's got that typical kind of 3D but 2D modern Arxis look to it. But like
Jeff, you would hate it.
Jeff, yeah, it's very anime. It's
Like,
and not like
because
fun
specifically
anime.
because it goes down to low frame rates for cinematic.
Exactly.
Motherfuckers, why?
It's cool.
It's not cool.
It is cool.
This isn't even based on an anime. It's based on a visual novel. This is 0 frames a second.
And like everyone who I was playing with let the intros rock almost every game just because they're so
totally.
like cool looking.
I only got to play one match, and then I had to take care of Griffin, but
Yeah,
I won. I came out on top.
Hell yeah.
So 100%.
undefeated.
Undefeated. I'm out.
I'm excited for that full game. It's
I'll totally give it a shot. What I'm also going to give a shot to is Samurai Showdown.
yeah. You managed to get into that.
Yeah, I got into the Japanese beta on the Xbox, and it is definitely a return to form. Samurai Showdown is just very beloved in my heart.
Does it have a number on it?
No.
Or they just
No,
call
this
it
is
Samurai Showdown.
Yeah, they're just calling it Samurai
The
Showdown.
Samurai Showdown.
Yeah, and it's actually called Samurai Showdown over in Japan, which is strange because
Oh,
it's
yeah.
usually
Oh,
Samurai
yeah.
Spirits.
I guess.
Regardless, yeah, this is a return to form. It's a weapon-based fighter, very hard hits. Not a lot of. It's not really combo heavy, so it feels a lot like old Samurai Showdown 2. I played Haomaru. There was no online whatsoever.
weird.
Yeah, so it was only like offline. Like I just sat in the training room, and then you could do local verses as well. But it's
the
got a
opposite
really
of every other beta that's
Yeah.
ever existed.
yeah, exactly.
Sure.
Like they never give you access to the training room, but yeah, I had a really good time with it. It feels great. It
Do you
looks
pick?
wonderful.
Are there character variations? Is it like a slash bust thing, or is it
Nope.
just great?
Yeah,
Awesome.
Yeah, just straightforward
Yeah.
stuff. So, and they've added the biggest change that I've noticed so far is they've added this Isun attack where it's kind of like a burst. You hit all three attack buttons, and for a short amount of time, you have this really quick hit. Like it's almost like a super. So immediately, as soon as you hit that, like it puts the other person on defensive mode. So it's a great get the hell off me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this, and you're not gonna be able to do anything while I have this timer going. But it's neat.
All right, let me try this.
Yeah.
Earthquake.
Earthquake.
Galford.
Galford. Yeah.
Okay. Hanzo.
Yeah. Yeah. Hanzo Hattori.
Okay. Nakaru.
Yep.
Okay.
Haomaru.
Yeah,
That's given.
you already said that one. That's a gimme.
Jubei.
Okay, I think I ran out.
Genjuro.
That's all I had.
All right. There's lots.
Wanfu. It's Wanfu. in
Wanfu.
there.
No, that's
Is he bald?
that's not yet.
See the guy with the hook on the chain?
No, that's
no. He throws the sword.
No.
Big flaming sword, right?
Wanfu.
Wanfu.
That's all I got.
Wanfu's the.
He's got a butt stomp.
He's got the hooks. He's the little green guy, right?
No, that's Gen.
That's Genjiro. You're right. Okay.
Oh,
No, okay. Wanfu's the. Okay, you're right. Yes, Wanfu's the.
Genjiro
other,
the
yeah.
claw guy.
Genjiro is
Somebody got
the other
claws.
samurai guy.
Yeah.
I think it's Gen.
Somebody has claws, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Genon.
Genon. There we go.
Okay.
That sounds right.
Samurai Showdown.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
And that's a oh shit.
That's pretty soon, right?
Pretty
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is June.
Right.
Shit.
Oh,
Weird.
games are coming out again.
Yeah. Cool. Supposedly Bloodstained is coming out right after E3.
Right.
Yeah.
Believe when I see it.
Yes, that's exactly my response.
And then that Hyrule.
Oh,
Thing is
God, yeah.
coming
They
out
announced that
soon,
fucking
right?
Cadence of Hyrule is coming out on the 20th. I'm so excited. They put out some more footage of that.
Yeah, that
which
Japanese
confirmed kind of what I figured it was going to be, which sounds like a straight through kind of start to finish video game,
Yeah.
not a roguelike. Looks like you're playing through an actual story.
I think that makes sense for
Probably.
Zelda.
I hope there's some kind of endless or randomized mode, though.
Yeah.
I hope there's something like Necrodancer in there that you could keep playing after you beat it.
Or maybe like a bunch of different characters, like how
Yeah.
Necrodancer had.
Yeah. All right, Ben, it's the moment of truth. I had you select the emails this week as I was doing E3 planning, and now we have dueling laptops here.
I was gonna read them because I have like some things queued up.
Okay, if you've got because I would be going in blind here.
Yeah, I feel like it's better this way because you are gonna be getting we're gonna get fresh Brad reactions to emails he hasn't seen.
All right, sure.
How often does that happen?
I only read like 2 of them. One of them was the fuck, marry, kill.
That's the last one. No spoilers.
Okay, I won't say.
Those are not cool.
Emails. You can email us at Did you already say this? Bombcast at giantbomb.com. First one in. This is kind of breaking news also. Zynga's selling the Townsend building. This comes in from AJ. And they say, with Zynga selling their headquarters at the Townsend building, is now the perfect time for Sega to buy it back and announce a new console at E3.
No, Ziff Davis is going to buy it back, and we're going to move
Yes,
back in
it's
there.
perfect time for us to get back in
we're
there.
gonna move. We were in that building for.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What's it like in there?
I missed the clinic.
Terrible.
It's right by the highway.
I don't remember that much about it.
It had this huge open atrium, and
Yeah, I
all the
remember
offices
that.
were around the outside edges.
Yeah, I remember
so
that.
you'd walk out on this rail.
I thought that was kind of cool.
I remember because before we were in that building, we were on what the fuck's the name of the street? Clement Street, and I remember Trent Ward went over there to look at the new place we were moving into, and a handful of like the senior staff went over and came back, and I was like, Trent, what's it like? And he's like, it's like a prison.
It's a panopticon in there.
All these rails around the edge. The offices are all like little cells. It's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
So I went in with a very positive attitude. It turned out to be pretty much fine.
Yeah.
And then Tech TV was the floor below us.
Mhm.
So we'd run into Sessler all the time and stuff because they were down there doing GameSpot TV at the time.
Were you guys on?
Or no, I guess
4?
they were. I think so.
You were on
And
4.
Sega was on the top floor.
Sega was on 6. Was
Yeah.
it just? Do they have the top 2 floors or just the top floor?
It might have been the top 2.
Okay, and that was like
but I think
Sega
their
of
lobby
America,
was on the
right?
top floor. Yeah, it was
Like, that
Sega.
was
Sega fucking
headquarters
That was
in
where
America.
Sega was.
Yeah.
When they moved up from Redwood City or wherever they were before.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they were in that building through all the Dreamcast era and all that other stuff. So they would just walk review copies down to us.
Wow. Did you guys ever go up there for demos?
Yeah, sometimes.
Huh.
Not all that often, but it would happen. When Heather Hawkins was there
Yes.
in PR, and yeah,
God, man, we're old.
they had a Planet Harriers machine in their lobby. So
Okay.
sometimes I would just go up there and play that because that's a good ass game that never came home or anywhere else.
My most vivid memory of working in that office for a summer was being there when the CNET acquisition happened. And
Yeah.
when you walked in the Game Center hockey jersey that morning.
Yeah.
I was like, well, here we go.
Because Glenn was at Game Center, and I called him up like the day of the acquisition. I heard about it, and so I quickly called him and said, "Hey, do you have?" Because I knew they had fucking hockey jerseys.
Yeah,
I was like, "Let me borrow your Game Center hockey jersey, so I could wear it to work." Because that's fucking dumb.
I'm trying to remember. Was there any fear that GameSpot was going to be the one that was sacrificed
Definitely
to the acquisition?
Absolutely.
It's like, wait, they also have game site.
The home team already had a game site.
Right. It's like the company doing the acquiring isn't going to
Yeah.
shut down their site, right? It's probably us.
Turns out they did.
Yeah.
We were, whatever. We were significantly larger than Game Center, traffic-wise.
Yeah.
So, there were a lot of reasons, I think, for that I was not privy to because I was pretty junior at the time.
Yeah.
What was I doing? I was trying to think what my title was through that time. I'd be like associate editor or like reviews editor or whatever it was. Yeah. So like when we got bought by, so you were there when the CNET acquisition happened.
When it got announced.
When it got announced.
Like
okay.
I was probably gone before anything actually went into effect.
Yeah. Was Milky still there? Or was that the thing that triggered, was that the thing that like because they went to go?
I think he might have left before I got there.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't have any memory of him being in the office.
Yeah.
That was also the weird time when were you guys still called videogames.com then? And GameSpot was for PC. Is
Yeah,
that how it was?
I don't think we. No, I
Like,
think that had gone away prior to that.
Okay, well, I went the entire summer like people like Greg Kasavin were on the other side of the floor, and like
Yeah.
we never talked to them.
exactly. Yeah, no, Elliot
Like
Chin
there was
and
like
all
this,
them.
this
It was just
invisible
like-
wall between the people who covered PC games and the people who
Yeah.
covered console games. There was like no communication whatsoever.
It was two separate sides.
It was
you
so
know,
weird.
There wasn't. It wasn't. I don't think there was any animosity.
No, I don't remember anything weird
So
about
if you
it.
go
It's
back,
just
I don't
that,
know. I don't know if you could find it, but like Ron Doolin wrote like a history of GameSpot for like their 5-year anniversary, and it included the launching of Video GameSpot in there as like an aside, and it was like a timeline, and he just kind of said like 1996 Video GameSpot launches, the use of the word hella increases in the office by 400%, and like that was kind of it. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I reported to Ron for a while in that era, early days, so whatever. But
So before or after Trauma?
Andy Deemer.
Oh, that was
Trauma.
Deemer.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
yeah,
never mind. I'm getting my old school
But
people.
Ron
mixed up.
Ron wrote a screenplay at some point.
Yeah.
It was I forget. Yeah.
Anyway, I don't
yeah.
think there was any bad blood between the sides. It was more just everybody was kind of off in their own world,
Yeah.
doing their own thing, and
Yeah.
nobody ever thought to walk over and say hello.
The only thing that brought us together really was fighting games, and that was only with Greg and Andrew Park, who was over there.
Okay,
And
I wanna say John-
because they played console games.
I want to say John Carlo
John
was
Carlo
on that
was
side.
he worked for Amir.
I forget.
Like
but I
because
want to say
Amir was doing PC previews.
yeah, that might be right.
Amir's at Fox Next now. He's doing that Marvel thing, I think. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, John Carlo when he interned or whatever. Is he coming for an internship? Did he come
I
on?
think he worked there. at
Okay,
that point.
maybe. Okay, I think when he started there, he was maybe on the PC side.
There's like a whole
That's right,
roster of
that's
people
right.
in my mind that like I didn't see for the entire summer, except for like once
Right. Yeah.
because they were doing PC stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever. That was a million years ago.
Well, if you want to move back in, they just sold the building for $600 million.
Yeah, so I forget the exact numbers, but I was reading that like Zynga's revenue last year was like 12 million or something.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like they're not making jack for actual profit the way they used to. But
Yeah.
selling
But
this building
actually
is going to bring in a whole lot of money.
and they probably when they bought it, I'm guessing they paid way less than that for it.
Yeah.
Considering
Probably.
real estate values in the area these days.
Probably.
This article mentions that their stock value was $14 in 2012, $2 in 2016, and has bounced back to about $6.
Huh.
So still not doing the best. Okay, cool. Well, next email comes in from giantbomb.com user KS2367, who says, "Hello. I've never written in before, but I just watched the Magic Arena Unfinished, and hearing about how the loot box bill is getting bipartisan support, I was wondering how this would affect digital card games. I know how the upcoming Yu-Gi-Oh game will be monetized, but for games like Magic and Hearthstone, I was wondering if this would affect physical card games as well. I just skimmed the bill from the link on Kotaku's website, and they defined the way they define in the bill games as, quote, interactive digital entertainment products, which would probably exclude physical games, but having looked through with no mention of card games, they kind of, I think, missed a chunk of a sentence here. But basically, they finish out by saying, like, these are obviously products that are, quote, targeted towards minors, which is another part of that bill. We're not legal experts here, but I was curious if you guys kind of wondered if that's the same thing.
I think that would absolutely count as the same thing.
Yeah, like-
if you think about it, the FIFA Ultimate Team is literally like digital cards.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like,
but you
collectible-
then place those cards somewhere in your deck to play a game of FIFA or
Like
whatever.
the
but-
collectible card model is basically the basis of the,
Totally.
of the modern loot box, right?
Yeah, it's
Like,
all
that's
that.
pretty much where they got the idea. So
yeah.
So how do you think, like, Hearthstone or a Magic could kind of work around that? Maybe is it the same as you, like, I know this is like a weird detail thing, but it is if like you include like guaranteed this one thing and up to 2 other things, is that the same? Like,
I don't know.
yeah, it's interesting
Yeah.
because
They might just have to take the hit and go rated M, but I don't know how
do you think that's
going
going
to
to?
do that.
Do you think that's going to give them an out?
I thought that was the thing. It was like if it's marketed to minors, then
The
they
wording.
can't do it.
I think the
I
wording
think it
was.
was 18. Somebody else wrote in with an email saying like that it was technically minors, which is 18 plus, but M-rated games are 17 plus.
Oh, weird.
Also, some of the wording was more along the lines of like a game that can, quote unquote, can be played by children, and they could easily argue like, hey, they might get their hands on this game even.
I mean, that's like step 2, right? Is like when
Yeah.
they really want to start to like put chilling effects onto this thing is when they start doing shit like that.
Yeah.
Which is why it's a bad thing for the game industry that it's gotten to this point.
And I could see like traditional retail Magic the Gathering cards get around that very easily, even if you could somehow loophole it into a all games thing instead of just video games thing.
Right.
But because the difference there is like it's not an app that your credit card info is stored on that a kid can just be like, buy.
Right.
You have to go to a store,
Yeah.
steal your mom's credit card or whatever, and buy it. It's a difference there.
There are still people that are probably spending too much money on Magic packs, real cards, and stuff like that maybe have a problem of some kind. But or
like Pokemon cards.
Sure, yeah. No. I don't know. That stuff seems inherent to that stuff, to those types of games, is like the pack opening experience. The way it had changed in China was when they had to start publishing the odds, right?
Yeah.
Which some companies have voluntarily started doing over here.
Right.
I think that would certainly help the issue. I don't think it solves it completely.
No, but it's a mess. It's a mess, and it's a these are systems that are built on things that have existed in American society for generations. Like just fucking baseball cards.
Baseball cards have been around forever.
Yeah.
Like that stuff's been around.
Kinder eggs.
Sure. Sure, right, yeah.
Putting a quarter in the thing and turning it and seeing which homies you're going to get.
Right. Like that stuff has just existed for so long. But, the storing a credit card and making it very easy to just like buy too many and just keep going and that kind of compulsive behavior component, like I get it. It's a different thing that is more easily abused in some scenarios. But I don't, if I were the Magic the Gathering or Hearthstone or other stuff, I'm not sure what I would do other than just sell sets and just say, okay, we're taking away the pack experience and just say, here's the price to buy every card in this series.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing, right? It's not like, it's digital, so it's not like the rarity matters. Just say, hey, okay, here we've split up this deck into 5 different packs, and you know exactly what the cards are in each pack, and you can buy those packs, and that's it.
Yeah.
Or 20 packs, whatever it is. And then have to redo the monetization around like, oh, I got duplicates, which then I turn into dust, and I can use that to craft a card I really want. Like, just get all that shit out of there. They make way less money, but at the end of the day,
it keeps their video game in stores.
Right, it keeps their video game in stores, and also like it gets rid of a system that is like kind of fucked.
Predatory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
win-win.
Sure. Maybe.
As long as it doesn't affect like the people working on the game, like
that if
the people putting in hours and stuff.
Yeah.
Ultimately, you don't want to. That's like my biggest fear is that this loot box thing passes or whatever. Like in a world where this thing passes, and instead of companies reevaluating things from the top down, it's like, well, let's just fire a bunch of people in the middle, and that'll cover our ass.
Yeah, we'll just get out of these types of games in general, and we're bringing in less money and all that other stuff, and kind of go for it. Yeah, it's yes, that stuff will go poorly in one way or another. If on that side, you're probably right about that. But I would love to see companies come up with better ways to sell add-on content.
Yeah,
and if the government has to fucking bark down their throats until they listen, I guess that's where we're at now, but didn't have to come to this.
All right, next one. Jake in Grand Rapids. Simple question. Hi, crew. Is cinnamon spicy?
No, because you talk about cinnamon, spice, and everything nice. So inherently, cinnamon's not a spice, because otherwise, why would you say spice after that?
I think about cinnamon as more
only
like,
spices are spicy.
It's more like something that gets in your nose, like horseradish, than like acts on your taste buds.
But if something has too much cinnamon on it, wouldn't you be like, oh, this has like a weird spice to it?
Well, that's what I mean, though. It's more aromatic. Like it's more in the sinuses than in the nasal.
So you think to qualify as spicy, it has to be like a tongue first?
Yeah.
My son thinks everything is spicy. Yeah. A chicken nugget is spicy to him. Too spicy. Yeah.
Maybe he has a salt version.
Maybe.
Okay. Brad, you kind of brought this up earlier. This is an email here from Oscar in Brisbane, Australia. Hi, Giant Bomb. I was just watching the video of Jeff play 1,000 versions of Donkey Kong and was wondering what the most egregious example you can think of where a good game was turned into hot garbage, or just a totally different game due to system limitations or a bad port job. You mentioned MK on PS1. Another
What is like
PS1 really bad one. Jason, did you ever play X-Men vs. Street Fighter on PS1?
They took out animations.
They took out
Yeah.
animations, and
Yeah.
you couldn't tag
Yeah.
anymore. You
Right.
just straight up couldn't tag to your partner. It was just like when one died, the
Yep.
second came in, completely changes the game.
Yeah.
Street Fighter Alpha 2 on the Super Nintendo. Yeah,
Ooh.
straight up.
Yeah.
That was really, really, really bad.
I played a ROM of that one time, and I thought, like, oh, this is a weird like ROM hack. They managed to make Alpha 2 work
Right.
on the
Yeah.
Super
It's like,
Nintendo.
no, they sold that. I mean, we played it last week, Mortal Kombat on the Game Boy.
Oh God.
Like you want to talk
sure.
grungy
A lot of
ass
Game
fucking
Boy
versions of
ports.
games. Go back to Mortal Kombat trilogy on the Gamecom. Not even Game Boy. Like there's some really filthy shit out there. Pac-Man for the 2600 is kind of like a classic example. Of like, this got pretty. That game's okay in its own right. I don't know.
It worked.
But
The tragedy of MK3 on the PlayStation is that it was basically arcade perfect except for the Shang Tsung thing.
right, yeah.
Because when you first sat down with it, you're like, holy shit, like this looks just like the arcade.
I mean, I
And
still
then-
probably played hundreds of hours.
Yeah,
of
I
that
played a
game,
ton of it. It's
you
just
know.
that they kind of neutered that character in a crappy way.
I think also wasn't it the case that there wasn't a good home version of MVZ2 until like
Dreamcast?
was the Dreamcast one good?
Yeah, Dreamcast
Okay.
is fine.
So
And
maybe
that-
that was
that's
I
the
think
the
first
that's the
one.
first one
Yep.
too. I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, it might have been MVC1 or something. That you're thinking of, but
Okay, well, thanks for the email. The next one comes in from Ben S. in Redwood City. Hello, Bomb Crew West. Over the past week, I've become completely enthralled by Mordhouse, staying up until 2:30 a.m. most nights working on my chambering, morphs, parries, and riposts. All terms I'm sure you're familiar with. I recently ordered a 36 by 11 inch mouse pad to cover my desk so I can increase the range and devastating potential of my swings. My question is, has any game so consumed you that you felt the need to upgrade controllers or other peripherals to enhance your skills? Love the show and good luck at E3.
I'm not going to talk about all my arcade sticks.
Yeah, I was going to say, like,
Man.
this is a perfect question for Jason.
Yeah, that turned into a way of life, like making arcade sticks and, just modding everything.
Was there ever like a specific game where you're like, I need a stick for this game, something's like different?
and none of the sticks you had were right.
Right.
and-
I first started making sticks for myself around Alpha 2, actually, when I imported that on PlayStation. That was the first like instance of me like buying like PlayStation 1 controllers and gutting them and like rewiring them
cool.
into like American style sticks.
Okay, honest question. All due respect.
Yeah.
How much is having all these sticks serving a pragmatic purpose, and how much is just
stick fetishism.
stick fetishism?
It's a little bit of both for
Okay.
sure,
Like, are there different uses for different sticks in different situations?
I mean, you're gonna have people that like a a Japanese stick versus a Korean style.
But
I like an
but is
American
that
style.
but is that across
then
the
game.
board, or is that on a per game basis?
Sometimes on a per game basis.
Okay.
Like a lot of Tekken people will use Korean levers.
Okay.
Because they can do the movements a little bit better.
And sometimes like a grappler will prefer a certain type of gate
Right.
versus like
Sure.
Okay.
hitting
Like a
hard
Zangief
corners.
player is
Like,
gonna
you're
want
have to
a
worry
different
about-
gate
Yeah.
than-
So there is an argument for an arsenal of sticks for different games.
Kind of.
All right, that's what I was. Yeah, I figured. But it's
Yeah.
fine. I'm not condemning it.
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
Mostly I just like the artwork now.
Yeah,
so
totally.
I've stopped building sticks, but I own probably 10
I fully understand.
between Mad Cats and Quanba and
Everybody's got their thing.
Yep.
We've got like 35 coffee cups for 2 people.
There you
like
go.
it's
Yeah.
sometimes you just like having stuff.
Stuff is good. Should get more stuff.
Beyond all reason. To answer the question, I bought a new mouse for StarCraft 2 when it came out.
Yeah.
That's my
What
story.
was it like? I already need a new mouse, and this is a good excuse, or were you looking for a mouse that would be good for StarCraft?
I had an MX 518 before that, and it was kind of getting a little grungy. So I bought a newer Logitech, which I think was a G5 at the time.
G5s are
Or was it G?
the G3s are good.
I
I think.
forget which one it was.
Is it like a G6 or?
It was not like a G6.
Okay.
Not like a G6.
All right.
Also, they've put the MX 518 back out. I don't know if you've seen. I don't know if
Wow.
anybody cares.
The MX what?
The Logitech MX 518, possibly the best mouse ever made. They put it back out.
Oh, I've seen this
I
mouse.
don't know if anybody cares at all.
Hell yeah.
But The website, I got very excited when they reintroduced it.
I like
the
my-
website says like the legend reborn, which I thought was an amazing thing to say about a mouse. But
feel like
I might
we
get
have
one.
of these, or had one of these.
I've got my old one in my drawer
Okay.
at my desk,
Maybe
but
I've seen
I'm
it.
thinking about getting the new one.
Whatever. IntelliMouse Explorer if we want to go classic mice.
I get it, but I never liked the feel of the buttons on that thing. It always felt a little
going back
too
to it,
cheap and hollow.
going back to
me.
it now, it actually feels really bad.
Have you seen like the new thing in mice is like a honeycomb design, like the casing,
Yeah.
the housing has a bunch of holes in it
Oh yeah.
to make it lighter.
Mhm.
I don't think the palm feel of that
It's a
would
little
be very
weird.
nice.
Well, then
Oh, that's when you got to put weights.
you got to put
in
weights in it.
No,
yeah.
I mean like the feel of
Like
not,
how your hand sits on
not
it.
a solid
I
piece
have like
of plastic.
I had a what is it, like a Rat 7 or whatever the fuck it was that had weights and stuff. And
It's silly.
the Razer mouse I have now is actually pretty good. I think I'm pretty happy with it.
I'm using a gaming mouse for the first time in my life, and it's really nice, like having the extra buttons. Like you don't realize how you're missing it before you make that upgrade, but it's seriously helpful.
Yeah.
Just having like a melee
A
button.
dedicated melee on the thumb and stuff like
Yeah.
that is they're like melee and grenade on your
Yeah.
whatever. Keyboard I'm a little less satisfied with. I feel like I'm building up to being on the hunt for a quieter keyboard
I might be
because I got one of those this Razer Black Widow, whatever it is, but it's just like loud ass mechanical switches.
just-
Oh, yes, the
I
Black
don't-
Widow, a famously loud species of
Yeah.
spider.
I don't get the love for mechanical keyboards. It's just the bracket drives me crazy.
Yeah, no, it wasn't-
Especially if you've got a microphone involved, but even if
it
not,
sucks.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I got it home and unpacked it and set it up. I was like, this is a really good keyboard. Oh, this is a fucking nightmare. This is like if people are sleeping in my house, I need to type quieter
Yeah.
type
Yeah.
of fucking shit.
I've used people look at me funny.
They're quiet mechanical switches,
Yeah, sure.
But then you get into just like I'm not
What's
one
the
of those
point?
people that's just like get an MX Cherry. You need to get the blue switches because those are the quiet one or whatever the fuck it is. I can't do it.
People look at me funny, but I've been using I've got a 10-year-old Apple mechanical or aluminum keyboard,
yeah.
like the old school Apple aluminum, just because the keys are the throw is like
Yeah.
that, and they make zero noise. They're just super quiet.
All right. Thanks for that email. Next one comes in from John in South Florida. Hi there, Bombcast. Between that super cool Resident Evil 2 remake that released back in January and those recently released Switch ports of some of the older RE entries, it's been a tough year not to think about Resident Evil games and remakes of old classics. Given how crazy successful the RE2 remake was, and disregarding rumors about a potential RE3 remake, I've been wondering if Resident Evil 4 would ever receive that treatment. I'm not sure it necessarily needs it, but I can't help but wonder that the announcement would generally be met with fanfare or uproar given on how revered it is. In other words, excuse me, what happens if you try to remake what some people consider, quote, one of the greatest games of all time? Do you guys think that there are games out there that are too hallowed to receive such treatment? And if so, what potentially are those games?
No, because there's always going to be, just by the way console technology works, just games becoming impossible to play on the next generation of hardware, generally speaking. Maybe we're moving away from that now, but I think there's always room to just like, hey, we're going to put this game back out on current platforms with some additional bells and whistles. I think that's always going to hold some value. It's not always going to be jump out of your chair enthusiasm, but, the ability to play RE4 on a modern, they did?
Just came out on Switch.
Yeah, just came out on Switch.
Like,
yeah.
even though it's kind of not a great port,
Yeah.
pretty bare bones, it's still cool to be able to play that portably. I mean, the RE2 remake works because RE2, the original, is unfucking playable in this day and age. Like, that style of tank controls is just a nightmare. Like, nobody wants to play a game like that.
So modernizing that
So, yeah,
game.
modernizing that game is totally
And
makes
it's not like
sense.
they just did that, right? I mean, they took
they
their
did a
time
ton
to
of
really,
stuff, like-
really kind of make it new. And
But RE4 still bears enough resemblance to modern video
Right.
games that it doesn't make a lot of sense for me to do that one. And I don't know. I'm trying to think. Like, I would say don't ever remake Super Metroid. That game's fine as it is.
Yeah, I instantly thought of like Super Mario World as a game that I don't see why you would ever want to remake it.
Right. Like I get the reverence for Final Fantasy VII, but it just feels like a lot of effort that could be spent
Totally.
elsewhere to me. personally. I'm still curious to see that game. Like,
But also,
I was still curious to play it. But
I guess the other thing, though, is now enough time has passed that, like, you say, like, oh, that's effort that could be put elsewhere, but there's probably a significant number of people that never played that original game.
Sure.
Yeah,
And for those people
they would be
yeah,
open to
yes.
playing it now.
Yes, that game that has tons of value for those people.
Yeah. And then there are probably plenty of people who loved that game then
Sure.
that would be willing to play it again. I think
Yeah.
the number of people who played it then that would be like, oh, fuck it now.
Yeah. Also, I'm sure there were plenty of people
are
who
not. It's not.
Plenty of people would argue they would take a remake of that game over what they have been doing with new Final Fantasy games for the last 10 years or so.
Man, we'll see how that remake ends up hitting.
But I just I don't need to see like classic scenes with voice acting now. You know, like they exist in a form that I'm happy with.
Sure.
Like, I don't know. It's a tough question. Everybody's got different ideas about different games.
All right. Next one comes in. This is a two-part email that I'm going to condense into one. You forgot a very important detail in the second one. This comes in from Matt. Hi. Here in Madison, Wisconsin, we celebrate the Holy Brat. I shit you not, it's an actual sausage fest. And then he later says, we have a festival here called the Brat Fest in Madison, Wisconsin every year. His question is, if you had your own festival based on one food, what would it be? Which I do want to hear your answers for, but then I went down a hole. I went down a Bratfest hole.
The Brat hole.
I went down a Brat hole, and I went to the official bratfest.com website, and I want to pitch you guys on something here, because the first thing they have up there when you go to bratfest.com is the VIP fan experience pass.
Ooh, okay.
And I want to $100 right here. I want you guys to tell me if I can sign up 3 people in this room for a VIP guest pass to Bratfest. For longtime fans only, take part in one of the newest Bratfest traditions. Each package is good for one headliner, your choice. More than one experience can be purchased, but must be brought separately.
Headliner's like a performer, I guess. Okay.
Here are your headliners to choose from. Chris Croezy, who I think was a runner-up on The Voice.
Okay.
Smash Mouth. Steve Adler of Guns N' Roses.
Here he's doing better.
Randy Houser and Wayland. I don't know the last two.
Jennings.
But not only do you get those, you get front row pit access. Don't know what that means. $12 worth of Brat Bucks, which are good for food and non-alcoholic beverages. A T-shirt, a meet and greet with your headliner, an autograph, and VIP parking. That's only $100 for this. I want to know.
That's a lot of time with a headliner.
I want to know what headliner you guys want to see. I mean, personally, I'm going for Smash Mouth. I've already seen them in concert,
Right.
but maybe they'll switch up the show lining. And
I would love to add Smash Mouth to my list of concerts that I've attended.
Yeah.
And I'd love to meet Mr. Smash Mouth.
meet and greet him.
But there's
believe his name
still
is Uncle
only
Cracker.
there's only $12 in Brat Bucks, and I think they need to reimburse me a little bit more than that.
And you can't use it on alcohol.
Right. Only $12 in Brat Bucks.
Only 12. That's like 1.5 brats.
Right.
Really, right. If you think about it, at a festival, you're going to
probably,
charge, I think,
yeah.
like $8 for a brat. Probably sounds about right. Okay, so if you had your own food-based festival, what would the food be?
Cheese curds.
Chicken wings.
This has to be something you're comfortable eating a lot of, right?
You're comfortable eating a lot of, or
'Cause-
like a lot of different variations of.
Yeah, like everything there is going to be based on this, right?
Yeah, I'm going to go wings.
Yeah, because it's not just like, hey, I like this food. It's, hey, I like this food in a lot of different varieties.
Here's a fun take on it. Or like sides that are good with it.
Right.
You know?
So like I would have initially been like, oh, pizza, but like I don't know. I don't want like infinite variations of pizza.
Because after like day 2, you're like, I've eaten so much goddamn pizza.
Also, like, a lot
it.
of toppings on pizza I just don't want. So.
Mayonnaise.
Oh,
Mayo
shit.
Fest.
Mayo Fest.
That's next level. It's good on everything.
Yeah.
I can't think of a food that I wouldn't want to
Think
add
about
mayo
all the
to.
things they could make with mayo.
You can make a milkshake with mayo.
Ooh, I don't know.
I was actually just about to say a milkshake fest.
Oh, yeah.
It's not so
Yeah.
bad.
Mix-in
Alcoholic
stations,
milkshakes, regular
alcoholic.
milkshakes, just all,
Savory milkshakes.
And then you could do anything for food because anything goes with a milkshake. Burgers,
yeah.
pizza, fries.
I don't know how I've never gone to
brats.
the Garlic Fest. I've always wanted to go to
it's
that
so
thing.
good.
Is John Mayer the headliner of Mayo Fest?
Jason,
Like-
Oh, go
I
ahead.
was gonna say if the garlic thing didn't exist, that would probably be my actual answer because
It's
like
so good.
what,
It smells so good.
what can you not make with garlic?
I've driven through Gilroy in the wake of the Garlic Fest, and
It's nice. You roll those windows down.
it was actually got to be pretty rough because we stopped. There's an outlet mall there that we stopped at for a little bit.
I feel
Outlet
like if you
mall,
get
completely
far enough
filthy,
away,
by the way, like just disgusting. And maybe we were far enough away to where it was just like a grotesque smell, but
yeah.
we
Once
were,
you- if you're in it, it's nice.
yeah,
But I could see
but
it. Like,
it was just like, oh god.
Yeah, I'm of the mind you can't have too much garlic smell,
Mhm.
but maybe I'm wrong.
We got an email here from Peter in Miami. Hey there, Bomb Crew. I have concerns about a future with exploitative battle passes. Your conversation a few weeks ago regarding loot box legislation has me wondering if the next logical step of if/when loot boxes get regulated would be for developers to start implementing battle passes with longer grinds to frustrate players enough to buy pass levels with real-world money. I'm already not a fan of battle passes because of their time-sensitive nature leading to artificial scarcity. And I feel like this could be the next step into making battle passes more of a burden than they already are. Should I be skeptical or should I give developers the benefit of the doubt that they'll do right?
I mean, I don't think we would have gotten to this point if developers were like doing right. You know, like it's.
Yeah.
I don't know. The battle pass I think it can be done okay, and often is not. I guess I would say, and I just when it comes to cosmetics, I think I would rather just have a shop, and it just is just like, hey, pick the fucking ones you want and buy them, and move on,
Yes.
and not have to buy a battle pass. If something's like, hey, the battle pass is free, or because you bought this other thing, you're getting a battle pass, or they do the 2-track battle pass
Yeah.
thing. I'm not like inherently opposed to that, but at the same time, I just would rather pay for the thing, and pay a reasonable price for a cosmetic, and the idea of just like I think even just like when you think about how much the legendary skins that they do rotate through the store and stuff like Apex and some other games, being like these fucking $20 skins or how much is an Arcana? Like $40? How much is
For-
the Dota shit?
Yeah, for an Arcana, it's like 40 sometimes.
30, 35.
Think about that. That's
Yeah.
out of fucking control.
Yeah.
Like $35-$40 for a fucking skin
I mean, I'm
for
not
a character.
I'm not defending Dota, but it is a case where the entire game is free. Like
yes.
I'm not defending it. I'm just saying, like, if it were a $60 game that was then charging $35, I think it would be more
And then-
egregious.
Yeah, they do.
I'm not saying that it's
also
justified.
more than just a skin where like the Rubik Arcana, they have 80 custom animations and stuff like that.
Okay.
Like
$40
it's $40, which is
fucking
crazy.
dollars.
It's nuts.
That's more than a lot of
Companion
games.
Cube IO.
But you know, then you get into okay, like take it out of Dota and think about some other games that have done it, and you have a $20 skin for a character and stuff like that.
I mean, all the skins in
it's-
Apex are $20. Like
Yeah.
that's nuts.
Yeah,
that's insanity.
which that game's also free.
Yeah.
For whatever that's worth.
But I
it's-
would say that the skins in Apex are way less valuable than the ones in Dota.
sure, just in terms of what they offer you,
And by nature
yeah.
of being a first-person
but
game,
also
where
they're
you're not
half
always looking
price,
at
I
your
guess.
character.
Yeah.
They're very underwhelming, is what I mean.
Yeah.
Irrespective of the price.
If they were like, hey, here's all these skins here all the time, and the top price for one is like $5.
Yeah.
These were supposed to be microtransactions.
yeah.
Yes.
Not 40 motherfucking dollars.
Yeah. I almost feel like, especially with Apex, they've priced themselves out of impulse purchase territory.
Totally.
Like $20,
Yeah.
I'm never gonna buy a character skin for $20. But if they were like $3 to $5, like
I would probably buy a lot of them.
Like, oh, that's a cool skin. I like that character. Sure.
Yeah, and if it was issued in manageable packs and stuff like that, it's like, and obviously like the business model is totally different. But like I liked Titanfall 2 enough to where I bought every single thing they put out, skins, whatever.
Rocket League, I do that.
Just give me all of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because those are like $2-3 a piece.
Yeah.
It's like
Or
nominal.
they get issued in
Yeah.
packs or whatever too, right? It wasn't like when they did like
Yep.
Fast and Furious car, wasn't it like $10 for 2 cars or something?
I think it was like 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But sure.
Yep.
You know, if it's at a point where it's like, oh, I want to play with the new thing.
Yeah.
Then I'll probably buy a lot more than I would otherwise. But the idea of just like, oh, well, here's this, a $20 thing? Like, no, absolutely not.
I mean, going back to the literal card game with card pack model, like I'm not a game designer, I haven't thought through all the consequences of this, but like what would be the game balance implications of just selling all of the cards?
You would create
Directly
an
flat out.
even playing field.
Right.
because because everyone would have access to every card
Right. Like I'm trying to think
easily.
I'm trying to think if there's anything.
I mean,
like,
that was the artifact model, which you saw how well that went.
weren't you still
right?
buying
No,
packs?
no,
You
okay.
were
I
still
thought-
buying
okay, I
packs,
thought you-
right? They were still blind packs, I believe.
Okay. All right. I'm wrong. I thought you could get all of it.
Like if Magic just straight up sold every card face up, but but then like how would they handle pricing? Would it?
Yeah,
be
it would
like,
have to be like a market.
Hey, this
where
card is considered
value-
better.
well,
so
at
this is
that
a
point, I
$10
would say
card.
don't actually do that, and instead, take every time because when they issue Magic expansions, or Hearthstone same way. It's X number of cards, whatever, 30 cards, whatever. Let's say, so you split that up into 10 packs of 3 or something, and you just say what they are, and then you can.
That's how Netrunner did it.
Yeah, but like and ideally, you don't have too many cases. Well, I guess whatever. That's an ideal scenario that probably never plays out. But I was gonna say, ideally, no one card is so much more valuable than the other that you got some case of like they should all be valuable, right? Just maybe not to every play style.
Which game is that you're talking about?
I was talking about like a Hearthstone or like a Magic or something.
Or was
like
it just Netrunner that does that? Are you saying they literally just say, here's exactly what you're getting?
Netrunner, when it was active, they don't produce it anymore, but it was like there were like 4 data packs, one a month for 4 months, and it was like $15. You get 3 copies of every card, and then they'd have like a big box expansion that was like $40.
But you always knew exactly what
you
you were
always knew
getting?
exactly what you
and
were
that,
getting.
and that was not game breaking in any way?
No, it was great actually. It was.
So, I mean,
how would it be game breaking? It's not like it's giving you too many cards, or
No,
it's
I
not
know,
like
I'm
buying
just trying
multiples
to,
of that
I'm
gives
just
you
trying
an
to figure out if
advantage.
there are
It's
like
just
consequences that I'm overlooking of going with that
the
model.
consequences that like you don't get people that like really want one card and keep buying packs.
That's what I
until they
mean.
get it.
Like I'm trying to figure out if there are any.
There was a minor consequence. What we saw of like, there was a stretch where there were some really overpowered weird things coming out, and that gives access to everyone to it. But like, which a lot of people say kind of tanked the number of players playing because it was really easy to do these really aggressive and not fun decks. But it should be an even playing field.
That's what I'm just trying to think through if there are any like game design or balance implications for that, or if that is a model purely driven by greed, basically.
Well, it'd be the monetary end.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Because the blind box model is just a way to potentially make your transactions infinite, right? Like
Yeah.
you can make people spend money forever.
Right.
Versus like the Netrunner thing, you're going to buy a flat amount of money per expansion and then you're done.
Like I feel like there's a certain, it's clean, it feels good, it feels honest of like, you have a thing, I want the thing, I'm buying the thing from you. Period.
Yeah.
Skin, cards, whatever. Like I'm all for that. But there's a thrill, and it's why this is a problem, of buying a blind pack of things.
Yep.
Like I bought fucking 5 packs of wrestling cards not that long ago because I was just at Target and I was like, oh yeah, that'd be fun.
Unboxing
and opening
videos
it, yeah,
are
totally.
huge
Yeah.
on YouTube.
My
It's
dad and
just
I used to
like-
collect baseball cards, and we fucking pulled an autographed Hank Aaron card out, and it was like, oh, holy shit!
My uncle got me a box of Simpson trading cards, and one of them had a hand-drawn picture by one of the animators on the show of like Bart strangling Homer, and it was signed and numbered and everything, and it was my prized possession as a child.
Totally.
For like years.
Yeah,
I mean, shit, opening that golden doomling at TI was like one of the most exciting moments of my life.
and that's why it's a problem
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Everyone wants treasure.
Everyone wants to feel good.
I have bad news for you. It's not possible.
Oh man,
Give it up.
I just want to feel good for, let's say, 20 to 40 seconds
Okay.
at a clip.
Well,
Can I-
keep buying
can I get that?
packs
Great.
until you get
I'm in.
there.
All right.
And then you feel bad for a lot longer after.
Well, whatever. I'll just buy more packs. It'll be fine.
All right, let's do 2 more quick ones. This first one, Andy in Maryland says, they put Cuphead on the OS for the new Tesla cars. Giant Bomb is obligated to cover this new console for the masses. Go buy a Tesla and let us know how it is, please. Who's going to bite that bullet?
Please subscribe to Giant Bomb Premium.
Stretch goal.
Yeah.
I spent some time, because I got a car not that long ago. I did spend a little bit of time thinking like, oh, it'd be cool to have a car that didn't need gas.
Yeah.
And like one of my least favorite things about cars is the tech packages and screens and all that stuff in them is such shit.
Yeah.
Just designed by robots and like all that stuff added up to just like, maybe I should get a Tesla. But I don't.
glad you did.
I don't think I can. I don't, it's just
they
they have an issue they need to solve with their image.
Yeah. Do you guys remember when they had that Tesla out like in the quad area in front, and they had like people you could like take
Yeah.
a seat? I think Jan and I took a Benz lens of me trying to get in that car. It's a hard. You would have
I
hated
probably,
getting in
I
and out of
probably
the
would
Tesla.
have had a. They make a few different ones,
Yeah.
but
I don't know that their image is their only problem at this point. Also, like,
Sure.
what did they just say? They have like 11 months of capital left or something.
Yeah.
Right now.
Hey, me too.
Did they say how you play Cuphead? Like,
No.
can you sync a PS4
I
controller?
heard
Yeah.
this. Maybe there's like some
Is it a
internal
touch-driven version of the game somehow? It's a
well,
weird-
they
that's
put
a weird
Atari
thing.
games on it a while
Oh.
before this. There was like 2,600 games running on it, I think.
It plays quote super clean and has a wired USB controller works.
Hmm.
But there is a touch screen, though it doesn't work for Cuphead.
Is that out now?
That's
fine.
I don't think so. It's coming to, this headline from a couple days ago says. So
I feel like the Apple CarPlay stuff I've messed with and cars that have had it that we've rented seems okay.
Yeah, I wish I could
Like
get
if
it.
I-
That's
oh.
not.
Well, there's aftermarket solutions from what I've seen.
Well, to do that in a modern car, you're basically yanking out
yeah.
a ton of shit.
Okay, that's fair.
It's not. That's barely viable.
Last car I drove was a 94.
Yeah.
You just pull the head unit out,
Yeah.
stick something else in.
That's
Which I
way.
did.
It's way hard. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's way harder to do these days than it used to be, because it's the navigation system.
Yeah.
It's so many
Yes.
different systems.
Yes.
Like my car has a fucking SD card in it with map data,
weird.
and you're supposed to go back to the dealer and pay them
Yep.
for new map data.
Yeah, I
And it's just like,
remember that.
what's stopping people from
Can you
torrenting the
just-
map data?
Can you still buy? Do they still make cars that don't have all that shit?
I don't know.
Can you buy cars
Some
that are
cars.
like decomputerized? Yeah, like a not a smart car.
I'm sure someone's
luxury
making them.
cars? Probably there's some luxury cars you can get.
I
that are
bet. Yeah,
probably
it's just like we put an analog clock in this with it's wood grain.
yeah.
There's got to be something.
All right, last one. I need your immediate reactions. No location or name given. Fuck, marry, kill. Luigi, Gohan, Scorpion.
Marry Gohan. Fuck Scorpion and kill Luigi.
Same. As much as I love Luigi,
I don't know enough about Gohan to answer this.
he's studious and powerful.
Yeah.
Okay, is he Goku's son?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's not as hot-headed as his dad
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
because he's half human.
Yeah.
He's
He's,
a good-
he's level-headed.
He's a good partner in life.
Seems like he would be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Videl seems like she's got a good life ahead of her.
Yeah.
Okay. Any thoughts?
I'd fuck Scorpion.
That's it. And walk away. Call it a day.
Kill Gohan because he'll come back anyway. I'll marry Luigi. Sure.
Okay. Okay.
I could see Luigi being a very caring husband.
Yeah.
I did scrub through enough of the movie to see the part where the spear tentacle snake
Yeah.
comes out of his hand.
Bad CG.
Oh, that looks so bad. That really is not held up.
No.
Holy shit.
The CG in that. Just wait till you see reptiles morphing
Oh
and shit.
boy. Gora looks okay though.
Gora does
Gora's
look
not like
okay.
terrible. Amazingly.
You want to get with a Mortal Kombat character, Reptile, you got that tongue.
Yeah, that's true.
We were able to just check it out at the library. Like weird.
Weird that it wasn't taken.
Mortal Kombat was not on hold
Hmm.
On DVD,
at the San Francisco Public Library Blu-ray.
Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Wow.
Excited to watch it.
Thanks everyone for the emails. You can email us every week at bombcast@giantbomb.com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, that's how that works.
Yeah, I had to check what the email was because I forgot.
Mhm.
And I remembered it's bombcast@giantbomb.com.
That's the one.
And it took me a second to realize I guess I have to take back over here now.
Yeah, it's
Now
all.
it's back on me to end the show.
Take us home, Brad.
All right. Bye. I mean, wait a minute.
That's just
All right. E3 coming.
E3 coming.
E3 coming.
That's what they say.
You come at the E3.
We'll be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be there. It's
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
There will be a bombcast on that Tuesday.
Yeah. We'll have our traditional sealed envelope.
Yeah, there's some more stuff that I've seen that we'll
Yes.
talk about. Not necessarily a ton.
Yeah,
I'll put
not
that
a
out there. But there's a handful of games that were prominent that I thought were pretty cool.
Cool. I like cool games. Yeah. After show today?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. If you got burning questions, E3 or otherwise, stay tuned for the after show if you're watching live. We'll have some stuff this week. I mean, prep is happening. Studio's already gone. Studio beat us to E3. So,
The studio takes way longer to get there, though.
yes.
Hey, someone asked me this, and I didn't even know the answer to this question.
Sure.
Why does it take a week for that gear to get to Los Angeles?
Truckers can only drive a certain amount of hours per day, I think.
Is it
or a certain amount of miles,
It's like a
maybe.
6-hour
Okay.
drive, though.
Yeah, that's the
something
thing. It's
like
6
that.
hours, like 300 miles.
But
Like,
when you're,
clearly, this nation is
I-
built on trucking.
I
Yo,
wonder
I
if
don't
it's-
know.
Yeah.
I wonder if
I
it's,
don't know.
I wonder if it's more like it has to sit in a depot for a while and there's processing
I
involved
wonder- yeah,
and just
I-
like
I just-
corporate overhead.
Because that
But
truck
then
is full of all our stuff. It's
Yeah.
not like it's
It's
going
not-
anywhere else first.
Right.
It,
There's multiple locations, like
Yeah,
but
and-
they're all
but
in
it-
the
but it-
same like town,
and it
like-
can't be there until later.
Right.
Like if it showed up there today, it would be fucked up. There would be no place for any of that stuff to go.
Right.
So they can't unload the truck until way later.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just,
I don't know why.
I wonder if it's just
so
a
long.
situation where like that's a cheaper way to do it, and because I'm sure, of course, you could probably get it there overnight, but that probably costs way more money.
You got me.
Possible.
All right.
You got me.
Anyway, that means we're without a studio for a week.
Yeah.
Plus.
We can kind of run stuff in here.
Yeah, we
little
can
bit.
do some stuff in here.
Yeah, we'll do some stuff as we prep.
We'll do some stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna start with this after show. We're gonna do that stuff in here.
Yeah.
right. They're still out east doing stuff until they come west,
All right.
and then everybody's here
Yeah, and then we'll be
for the Electronic Entertainment Expo.
Triple.
live on Sunday.
Yeah, that's right. Look forward to it.
Yeah, the homepage will reconfigure to better show times for the stuff we're doing, but we're gonna talk over the big press conferences starting Sunday.
Yeah.
And then have night shows Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Yeah.
It'll
E3.
be a good time.
Catch it.
Catch that shit.
We'll see you there. Thanks for listening.
Support for today's show came to you in part from new Starbucks Triple Shot Energy. That's right. Starbucks Triple Shot Energy has 225 milligrams of caffeine from Starbucks coffee. It also has a hint of flavor, and it's enhanced with guarana, B vitamins, and ginseng for the energy to do what matters to you. It's available in 3 delicious flavors, including French vanilla, cafe mocha, and caramel. Find it in your local grocery or convenience store.